All right, Shalom, Israel. All praise to the Most High Yahweh Shah again. Shabbat Shalom. All right, Shabbat Shalom. All right, happy Sabbath, everybody. All right, all praise to the Most High Yahweh Shah as we wind down. Got about another hour or two before the sun starts to go down. So we're going to do a closing Sabbath lesson. And today's lesson is going to be basic Passover and New Year preparation. To gear our spirits up. There's about to be a new year according to the Hebrew calendar. We're coming into a new transition of time as the new year comes in. You know how Esau and the other nations, they make New Year's resolutions. You know what I'm saying? And things of that nature. But, we want to try to get our spirit right, as we continue, you brothers and sisters, a lot of y'all may be still new to the truth, a year or two, 3 in the truth, and maybe y'all have questions, or the general public. We got new people coming in all the time into this truth, so we're gonna answer a couple of questions and give you some basic understanding on the Passover and the preparation for the Passover. Okay? Everybody have their Bibles, notepad, take notes. All right, even if you got your smartphone, put your notes in your smartphone, because this is a lesson and you're here to learn. Okay? And when it's time for you to teach, especially you brothers, but you sisters too, when it's time for y'all to teach, y'all know how to edify and teach others. Okay? That's how this thing goes. We're not in here, you're not in here to be a professional student. You come to learn, so eventually you could teach. All right? And that's what the Most High called all of us for. Okay? All right, to be his servants. All right? So, like we said, today we're going to deal with Passover and New Year preparation. So let's go to Leviticus chapter 23 and verse 1. All right, so we enter in the so-called spring season, and, you want to prepare your minds and your spirits. You always want to improve in this truth, okay? All right, give me Hebrews chapter 6, verse 1 real quick before we go to that. Go to Hebrews 6 and 1. You always want to elevate and you always want to get better in this truth. You shouldn't be going backwards. You shouldn't be still dealing with the same little sins and struggles and double-mindedness. And 1 minute you're for the Most High, the next minute you don't know what the hell you for. Okay? The Most High don't like that. Be firm, man. Have your feet. What's it saying? 10 toes down? 10 toes down. Have your feet 10 toes down in this truth, man. Stop playing games. Know what you want out of the Most High and Yahweh Shai in this truth. Okay? And now is not the time to be wavering, man. Now is not the time to be wavering. All this stuff going on in the world. We may possibly be on a brink of World War III. You got some skeptics that say a lot of the stuff is sensationalized media. But either way, you see what's going on in the world. You're watching what's going on. Some of it is real. Some of it is propaganda. Some of it is fear tactics. But we know according to Scripture, the Most High is going to elevate World War III. If Putin say, I got my nukes ready, you know what I'm saying? The Most High could have put a spirit on them to use them. Okay? Or it could just be talk. Wars and rumors of wars. But either way, you always got to stay in the spirit. Okay? Right, give me Hebrews 6 and 1. We're going to get into the New Year and Passover, but just a few scripts to prepare your spirit. Hebrews chapter 6, verse 1. Read that.
Hebrews chapter 6, verse 1.
Bring it out.
Therefore, leaving the principles of the doctrine of Christ.
The Lord said, leaving the principles of the doctrines of Yahweh Shai. Go ahead.
Let us go on unto perfection.
The Lord said, let us go on to perfection. We should strive for perfection in this truth. All right, be ye perfect. Matthew 5:48. Even as your Father. You can link that up with Hebrews 6 and 1. Matthew chapter 5:48. Be ye perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect. Now, are we going to be perfect per se in the sense of like Yahweh Shai? He was without sin. Yahweh Shai was without sin. He was without spot or blemish. But what did Yahweh Shai mean when he said that? You got to strive for that perfection. In your mind, you got to say to yourself, I'm striving to be perfect. Con? Even though we're going to fall short, the reason why Yahweh Shai said, be ye perfect, because your mind frame should be striving to be perfect. You're going to fall short, but you get back up, you keep moving, and you get as best as you can in Yahweh Shai. Con? If you don't see yourself improving, we coming into a new year. Give yourself this portion of time that we coming into. From whenever you first came into the truth, and now we coming into a new year, March 31st. Our calendar starts in the spring. Okay? So from the time you came in until March 31st, you should be seeing some improvement. Okay? And if not, you should be striving for that improvement as we come into a new year and we come into the Passover. Okay? All right, Hebrews 6:1 again from the top. Read that.
Therefore, leaving the principles of the doctrine of Christ.
Right, leaving the elementary things or the basic things of the doctrines of Yahushua. Go ahead.
Let us go unto perfection.
You got to move on to perfection. Hebrews 6:1, the precept is Matthew 5:48. Read on.
Not laying again the foundations of repentance from dead works.
In other words, Paul is saying you shouldn't be laying that foundation of repentance from dead works. You shouldn't be struggling with the same thing you were struggling 6 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Come on, you got to get better than that, right? You can't be a ex-drug addict, but now 6 years later you in the truth. Oh, I'm still struggling with smoking crack. You know what I'm saying? Nah, that crack should be out of your system, God. Right? Yeah, I'm just using the most fierce example. You know what I'm saying?
Most people weed in the truth. Most people.
Yeah, weed. You know what I'm saying? Weed. You're not supposed to smoke the weed. The weed is for herbs. It's for medication or to be eaten. And we don't even encourage brothers and sisters to eat it, because this stuff that's out here now, you don't know what they're putting in it. Get other herbs. Diet, exercise. There's other ways to heal yourself. Now, everybody in Israel that eat or smoke weed, they say they doing it for medicine. Right? Remember back in the 80s and 90s, was anybody really saying they were smoking weed for medicinal purposes? Let's be honest.
Nope.
God, everybody was smoking weed to get high. God, now all of a sudden, Esau says it has medicinal purposes and he makes it legal. Now everybody said, yo, it helped with my headaches. It helped with my headaches. You know what I'm saying? I stopped coughing when I smoke. I stopped lying, You still using an excuse to get high. God?
Now they got the green medical cross.
Now they got the green medical cross. God. Right, hold that real quick. Go to Sirach 32:17. Hold Hebrews 6. Come on, stop lying to yourself. You smoking to get high. You eating to get high. A lot of times brothers will use the excuse, I eat miracle. But what are you eating it for, brother? Especially a brother that don't have an ailment. You're eating it to get high, brother. You still want that feeling of when you smoke the Dutch. You smoke the White Owl. You smoke the Philly blunt. We remember the smoke, the bong, whatever, the peace pipe, the chalice, the joint, the tweezers. You know what I'm saying? Remember the little joint was left. You get the tweezers and get all of it. You know what I'm saying? Come on, you just say, yo, I'm struggling with weed. That's all. I still want to stop making these. And Israel know you make an excuse. Even with the edible marijuana, even with the so-called edibles. You're eating in what? You're just getting high. And a lot of times brothers that don't even have ailments, they just eating it. But the herb is for the meat. I know. You want to get high. And you can't smoke it no more, so your alternative is eating it. Stop lying. Right? Read that, brother. Sirach 32:17.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 32, verse 17.
Go ahead.
A sinful man will not be reproved.
The Lord said a sinful man will not going to take no correction. Go ahead.
But findeth an excuse.
It helps with my cough. It gets rid of my cough. Right? Go ahead. No, when you take a puff, you cough. Right? Go ahead.
But findeth an excuse.
Come on.
According to his will.
And now, see, that's a debate in Israel. Because brothers say, even brothers that smoke it debate is from the earth. You can't really condemn that. Show me a scripture. But listen, anything taken out of its natural state, the Most High said it's for meat. It's to be eaten or as a herb. Which, like I said, I don't even recommend these edibles nowadays because you don't really know what they put in it or whatever. Or if you don't have an ailment or something serious, even then, you know what I'm saying? If you're eating it just to get high, you shouldn't be doing that. Okay? All right, go ahead.
A man of counsel.
That's it on that. So the Lord said a sinful man or woman will find an excuse according to their will. They're not going to be reproved. All right, go back to Hebrews 6. Start at 1 again. Hebrews 6:1. So as we going into this Passover season, this preparation season, we got to get our spirits right. Okay? You want to go into the new year and after the Passover saying, I want to be better in this year. I want to get my spirit right. I want to get better. I want to get better with precepts. I want to get better with the brotherhood, the sisterhood. I want to get better in my family dynamic. I want to get better with just stuff in general. Okay? All right, read that, King.
Hebrews 6:1. Therefore, leaving the principles of the doctrine of Christ,
Go ahead.
let us go on unto perfection.
Let us move on to perfection, right? You want to strive for that perfection. Go ahead.
Not laying again the foundations of repentance from dead works.
Right, them dead works, man. You want to get rid of them little trivial sins and things that you struggling with that you should get over. Con? You should be fighting to get over to be that better creature. Go ahead.
And of faith towards God,
Go ahead.
of the doctrine of baptism,
Come on.
and of laying on of hands,
Right, the doctrine of baptisms and laying on of hands. Go ahead.
and of resurrection of the dead,
And the resurrection of the dead. Come on.
and of eternal judgment.
Go ahead.
And this we will do,
The Lord said, this we will do. Go ahead.
if God permits.
If the Most High permit. You see that? He's going to give us the power, right? To resurrect the dead, eternal judgment, baptisms, cleansing people. Okay? That's the power we're going to get for the Most High. Just like when you read with our forefathers. When they was raising people from the dead, man, they was resurrecting people. When you read St. John, they brought Lazarus back from the dead. All right, they brought, in Acts the 9th chapter, they brought Sister Tabitha back from the dead. That was spiritual power. The Lord, you know, none of us never seen a dead body come up out of the coffin or the grave. But you know, Hashem Yahushai, arise. You know, that's what they did with, read Acts the 9th chapter. That's what they did with Sister Tabitha. And she rose up, and she was flat dead. Breath was going out of her. Spirit was gone. Most High put the spirit back in her, and she arose. Okay? Well, we never seen that. I think I'd give up the ghost. I see a dead body come back to life. Okay? But the Lord said, this is the kind of power we going to have if we get our spirits right and tap into. We will get that spiritual power. He said it right there. Okay? So you got to move on to perfection. Count from the time you came in the truth up until now and moving forward to the new year and the Passover and get your spirit right. Learn these scripts, learn these laws, and do better. Okay? Go to Leviticus 23:1 now. Everybody understand so far? Just basic understanding on getting our spirits right as we go into this season. You know, it's already March 4th. All right? Right? Today is the only day. What's that meme Kathar you put up? Today is the only day that tells you the March 4th. Right? You know, March 4th. Right? March 4th. Right? Go ahead. March 4th as we go into the new year and the Passover. Go ahead.
What was that verse where it says a sinful man is Ecclesiastes?
Oh, today's the 5th.
Oh yeah, yesterday, Salakia. Yeah, today is the 5th actually, you're right. But yesterday, they were saying today is the only day to March 4th. That tells you the March 4th. Gun? Right, Friday, Salakia. But God, what you say?
What was the verse?
Sirach 32:17.
Sirach 32:17. Yeah, so like yesterday, March 4th. What it is, I saw the post today. That's what I thought it was today. But today is the 5th, you're right, because it was the 3rd.
The story of Tabitha is Acts 7, right?
Acts the 9th chapter.
9. Acts 9.
Acts the 9th chapter. It's towards the end, but heck, read the whole chapter. All right? Khan? All right, so Leviticus 23:1. When everybody have it, say Khan. So like I know I'm moving kind of fast. That verse was 32:17 in Sirach about a sinful man.
32:17. Okay.
Sirach, Ecclesiasticus 32:17. When all else fails, y'all can always go back to the video too. If anything you missed, Khan, or just raise your hand and ask. So Leviticus 23:1. Read that, brother.
Book of Leviticus, chapter 23. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, concerning the feast of the Lord, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocation.
So the feast of the Lord, concerning the feast of the Lord, that ye shall proclaim to be holy convocation. So when somebody new come in the truth, or somebody just asks you, or they say, hey, you know, well, we're not Negroes anymore. We're not African American. We're not black. We're not Native American. We're not Spanish. We're not Puerto Rican, Dominican, Mexican, Cuban. We're not Jamaican. What are we? We are Hebrew Israelites from our distinctive tribe. And we must repent and come back to the laws of the Most High. Okay, if we do that, what do we celebrate? Okay, we celebrate Leviticus 23. These are the high holy days and feasts we proclaim to be holy convocations. All right, read that again.
Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them concerning the feast of the Lord, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations. Even these are my feasts.
The Lord said, even these are my feasts. Come on.
6 days shall work be done, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of rest and holy convocation.
What is today? The Sabbath of rest and holy convocation. Anybody know what a holy convocation is by a show of hands? What is another definition for a holy convocation in layman's terms?
A holy gathering, a special gathering.
Use another word out besides holy.
Set apart.
A set apart
Severed.
gathering. Con? That's what a holy convocation is. A righteous or set apart gathering together. So on the Sabbath, we're supposed to have a holy convocation. So that's why even like with H.O.I, we want to get into the habit of gathering for Sabbath lessons more. Con? Because it is a convocation. We know we go out there for camp. We go out there to reach the people. But the Sabbath is commanded as a holy convocation. Con? That's a weekly high holy day. You're supposed to get together and gather for the Shabbat. All right, that's why we want to get into the habit of doing it. Okay? All right, go ahead.
Ye shall do no work therein. It is the Sabbath for the Lord in all your dwellings.
See, the Most High said do no work at all on the Sabbath. Okay? Because on the rest of the feast days, what type of work did it tell us not to do on the rest of the feast days? If anybody's been studying Leviticus, the 23rd chapter. What type of work does the Most High tell us not to do on regular feast days? There's a specific type of work. But on the Sabbath, he said no work at all. But on the feast days, what did he say? Yakim?
No kindling of fire.
No, what type of work?
Work for your own gain.
Work for your own gain, but there's a word I'm looking for. It starts with an H. When you apply for a job, you get what? Hired. So no work for hire. God, you was right. But no work for hire, meaning no work for gain, no work that you're getting paid for. Okay? That's on the regular feast days. When on the Sabbath, the Lord said, what? It's a day of rest, no type of work. The reason why the regular feast days says no servile work, because on those feast days, you got to do work to prepare for the feast. You got to cook, you got to work, so on and so forth. But on the Sabbath, no work at all. Okay? Go to Numbers real quick. Numbers 15. And let me see where I want to start. Numbers chapter 15. And let me see what verse I want. Y'all know the verse with the man got stoned for picking up sticks on the Sabbath.
35.
35.
You started
Start 32. Yeah, start at 32. Go to Numbers 15 and 32. Hey, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Everybody coming in the building. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, family. Shalom, Shalom, Shalom. All right. Go to Numbers 15 and 32. See, this how serious the Most High was with the Shabbat. Khan, check this out. Go to Numbers 15 and 32. When everybody have it, say Khan.
Come on.
Numbers 15, 32. Read that.
Numbers 15, verse 32. And while the children of Israel were in the wilderness, they found a man that gathered sticks upon the Sabbath day.
Right, see that? You gather sticks on the Sabbath day. All right, you would gather sticks maybe for a fire, or maybe some type of work you had to do, or to carry something, or build something, whatever the case may be. Here he go, he want to gather sticks on the Sabbath. All right, go ahead.
And they that found him gathering sticks brought him unto Moses and Aaron, and upon all the congregation.
Yeah, what you doing out gathering sticks, man? You're supposed to be resting, keeping this day holy to the Most High. That's why we're not supposed to work on the regular Shabbat or do any kind of work. Okay? Right, come on.
And they put him in ward, because it was not declared what should be done to him.
Right, they detained him. All right? When it says they put him in ward, they detained him until, that man committed a crime against the Most High. So he said, yo, we going to hold you until, Moses and Aaron tell us what to do. Right? So they detained him and said, look, let's see what the Spirit showed to do with this cat. Go ahead.
And the Lord said unto Moses, the man shall be surely put to death.
See that? That was under the strictness of the law. Under the strictness of the law, the Most High was serious about the Sabbath. Okay? Huh? I'm not sure. Check it. Check it. Yeah, you can check it. Might be that wind. That wind is so strong. You might be hearing things. All right. Good. All right, read that again, Salakia.
And the Lord said unto Moses, the man shall surely be put to death. All the congregation shall stone him with stones without the camp.
See that it said, the Lord said, take him outside of the camp and stone him to death. Right? You know the camp where we was dwelling at in the wilderness amongst each other. It said, take him outside the camp and kill him, stone him to death. Right now, we have mercy when the Shabbat is here now, but you can't abuse that mercy. Okay? But back then, under the strictness of the Lord, that's how serious the Lord was about the Sabbath. Right? He got put to death. Yeah, that's the wind. I just heard it. That's the wind pushing the door. Right, come on.
And the congregation brought him without the camp and stoned him with stones.
And they killed him. They stoned him with stones. They did what the Most High commanded them to do. Go ahead.
And he died as the Lord commanded Moses.
See that? The Most High didn't play. So that's how strict. That's just an example of how strict the Most High was with the Sabbath. That was Numbers 15:32 to 36. Okay? But whole lot, right? I know we go into a lot of precepts. But whole lot now. Go to Matthew 12 and 12. And then we're going to go to St. John 1:17. So you can get some understanding about we're not under that strictness of the Sabbath anymore. Some brothers and sisters even have to work on the Shabbat. All right, we give them letters. Their job say, the hell with you. I don't care. You ain't the real Jew. Only the white Jew with the big hat and long black coat and Shirley Temple damn curls. Only he can get the Sabbath off. Negro, Negro, you from Crenshaw Mafia. You ain't no Jew. Right? Esau stereotype you. You ain't nothing but a gangbanger. Get out of here. You ain't no Jew. I ain't got to respect your letter. If you ain't a white man with the Shirley Temple locks, I ain't give you the Sabbath off. Yeah, we've had brothers that had to threaten to sue their jobs. We had jobs that told brothers, we don't care. Take us to court. You got to work on Saturday. Okay? Now, what is the brother choice? You either quit the job and go on faith, or you say, yo, I got to work on the Sabbath. May the Most High have mercy. Okay? Because we in captivity right now.
They went to court and they denied it?
Huh?
You said brothers went to court and denied it?
I'm not sure. I've never really heard of any court cases because a lot of times, Israel just give in to the pressure, man. You know, but a lot of times brothers have come back to me and said their job said they don't care. I don't care. Get a lawyer, take me to court. You got to work on Saturdays. You know what I'm saying? Especially private companies because they're a little bit more loose with private companies. You know, public companies, you got to respect religion, stuff like that. But private companies, a lot of times, they'll tell you where you can go, man. Okay? You know, and I don't think brothers ever had to take it to court. Either they got shook from the job and they worked on the Sabbath or they quit. Or, brothers threatened the job and the job was like, because, you can write the job and say, I hope we don't have to take legal action. I hope my religious request is respected and we don't have to take legal action. So sometimes the job will get shook. Like, oh, all right, we don't want to go to court. We don't want a lawsuit for religious discrimination. Give them the Sabbath off. Okay? But some jobs, I've heard brothers and sisters tell me, we don't care. Or they'll say, you know what? You can have 3 Sabbaths off, but you got to work one Saturday out of the month. At least one Saturday. Mandatory. You know what I'm saying? So it's all different type of situations brothers and sisters been into. Matthew 12 and 12. Read that.
Book of Matthew, chapter 12, verse 12.
But, lo and behold, get the Sabbath off if you can. Do not work on the Sabbath as much as in your possibility, your power. If your job say, no, you can't have the Shabbat off, you pray, you maybe look for other jobs, you know what I'm saying? Apply for other jobs, stay on the job, ask the Most High for mercy. Or if you're going to quit, I don't recommend that. That's not wisdom. But if you're going to be a G with it and you're going to quit and go on faith, I hope you got some money backed up to pay your bills. But if you're going, you got the over-righteous brews or the super-righteous brews, I ain't going to even say over-righteous. Because they might feel like that's somebody knocking. They feel like I'm going out for the law. I don't care. I just quit and I'm going on faith. But listen, Shalom King, If you don't have that money to back up your bills, then I guess you just go on faith. Right? Kwame Shada. I ain't gonna knock you, but a couple of months down the line, you don't find another job, bro, I can't pay your rent every month. I ain't got it like that. Good? Right, read that, brother.
Matthew chapter 12, verse 12.
Go ahead.
How much then is a man better than a sheep?
Come on.
Wherefore it is lawful to do well
It's
on the
lawful
Sabbath.
to do well. Go ahead.
On the Sabbath
On
day.
the Sabbath day. Let's say a brother say, yo, I was on my way to camp. My car broke down. You know what I'm saying? I'm stranded on the highway. Are we supposed to be over righteous and say, I ain't coming to get you, it's the Sabbath? You're going to stay out there till the sun go down. No. You go out there, you get the brother, or you help him get his car towed. Oh, we got to pay for your car to get towed on the Sabbath, brother. No, we're going to leave the car there till tomorrow or whatever. No. It's lawful to do something good on the Sabbath. And, you know, certain situations you can't control. You know, one time I always use this story. A brother, you know, he drove his car to camp. And, you know how you park certain places, you're in front of a meter. You got to put quarters in the meter. You don't put enough quarters in there, the time runs out. So I think the brother was trying to impress me. So the brother was like, it's the Sabbath. I don't want to go get no quarters for my car. So you damn idiot, let your car get towed, and then you pay the fee. Is it a few quarters? Or you see the stupidity in that? You spend a few quarters on this Shabbat, you pay for the parking meter, you understand, and your car's fine. You come get it a couple hours later when you finish with camp. Or you get it towed, and you pay $175 tomorrow to get it out the pound. All right, because you want to be righteous on the Sabbath. Con? Use common sense too, Israel. Con? Use common sense. And then you're at camp, so the Most High understands. You drove your car to the camp to do the work of the Lord, to teach people. So don't be over righteous and say, I don't want to get no quarters for the meter because they're going, it's the Sabbath. All right, so don't put no quarters. They tow your car, and instead of 75 cents, you'll pay $175 tomorrow. Okay? So that's where common sense and wisdom comes in. Okay? All right, read that, brother.
How much then is a man better than a sheep?
Go ahead.
Wherefore it is lawful to do well on the Sabbath days.
What the Lord say?
It is lawful to do well on a Sabbath day.
The Lord said it's lawful to do well, to do something well on a Shabbat day. Con? Right? The example right here was your ox is in the ditch. All right? So if it's certain situations where you got to use wisdom and common sense and say, listen, I'm doing something right, the Most High not going to. Now, I don't know every case scenario. I just gave an example. But certain situations are going to present themselves in this captivity where you might have to make a judgment. And you can't be overright. You can't be a fool or an idiot. I just used the example with, it's either 75 cents now before the sun go down or $175 tomorrow to get your car to tow. Come on, which one? You got children, you got bills, whatever. You just got money to give away like that? No. That's when you, Lord, forgive me. I know it's the Shabbat, but I got to pay the meter so my car don't get towed while I'm at camp. Common sense. Don't be an idiot and say, I'm not going to spend no quarters because it's the Sabbath and your damn car get towed. Okay? So it's lawful to do well on the Shabbat day. Read.
Then saith he to the man.
That's it on that. Go to St. John 1:17. Everybody understand? All right. There's the balance. We in captivity, so a lot of times situations are just going to be presented, and you just got to make the best common sense decision. Okay? Right? St. John 1:17. And we're going to get back to Leviticus 23. Read that.
It's the book of John, chapter 1, verse 17.
Go ahead.
For the law was given by Moses.
Yeah, the law came by Moses. Come on.
But grace and truth.
Grace and truth. Come on.
Came by Christ.
Right, came by H.O.I. So there's balance, there's grace, there's mercy. Remember St. John, the 8th chapter. The woman was caught straight in adultery. Straight up. And they said, she's wicked. H.O.I. said, he that is without sin, cast the first stone. Now that don't mean you just go out there and commit adultery and I'm going to be the one, like the woman in John 8. You know what I'm saying? The Lord going to forgive me. No. You don't sin willfully, but we are under more mercy now, especially before you came into the truth and your ignorance and sins that you're struggling with. Okay? But that don't make it a license to continue in that behavior. That's why the scriptures say, leave the principles of the doctrine of Yahweh. Let's move on to perfection. Okay? You're supposed to be getting better. If you were struggling with cigarettes 2 years ago, you should basically have the cigarettes gone by now. Okay? You shouldn't be, oh man, I still light up a Newport every once in a while. You know, you should be getting better as time goes on. Okay? There's even a song like that. It just gets better with time. Okay? I forgot who sang it, but you know, there's a song like that. It's like fine wine. It ages with grace. It gets better. It tastes better. It's it's more expensive after years. It's more precious. Okay? This bottle is 20 years old. It's worth $1,000. You know, whatever. You have to get better with time, Israel. Okay? And that's what, as we go into Passover, as we go into a new year, turn over your spirit and seek to be more righteous, more in the spirit of the Most High, the Mashiach, Yahweh, and these laws. Okay? Right, go ahead. That was it on that. Go back to Leviticus 23, the verse you left off. All right? So somebody said something on the comment board. Brothers never document enough evidence. Oh, yeah, Khan. Kazakh Shakwat said, brothers never document enough evidence to take these jobs in court. Yeah. You gotta secretly record them or something or whatever. Or just document everything, write down everything, you know. Take notes of everything so, you know, you have a backup. All right, but read that, brother. Leviticus 23, what verse you left off?
Starting at verse 4.
Khan.
Leviticus 23, verse 4. These are the feasts of the Lord, even holy convocations, which ye shall proclaim in their season.
Right, everything got to come in its season. Normally, the Passover is going to be in the spring or the barley season, right? You're going to get Passover anywhere between late March to mid-April. Passover really shouldn't go past the third week of April. That would leave it in its proper season. Could it? In some cases, yes, but Passover really, it should be no earlier than the last week of March and no later than the third week of April. Khan? Around that month period. Right, Khan? All right, read on.
In the 14th day of the first month.
On the 14th day of the first month. Come on.
At even.
Go ahead.
Is the Lord's Passover.
So the 14th day of the first month at even would actually be the 15th day. Because when does the day start? My show of hands. When does the day start? Yahweh? In the evening, Khan, when the sun sets. Khan? So when it says the 14th day at even, it's talking about the closing of the 14th day. So this year, the Passover is actually April 14th. At even, which is actually bringing in April 15th. Even on Esau's calendar, because at midnight, it would turn the 15th. Khan? But nothing doesn't start in the middle. So as soon as it gets dark, that's the beginning of the day. Something can't start in the middle. They tell you midnight is the start of the day. No, at their bewitching hour. But it's when the sun sets. Something starts when it starts. It don't start in the middle. Okay? But that's Esau for you. Right? He changeth the times and the seasons. So being that the new moon, the new year is March 31st this year at even. So what would you do? You would count 14 days from that at even, and that would give you a Passover. Okay? And that's how you would calculate it. Because our feast days are based upon the new moon. You calculate the days in the month, and you calculate from when the new moon comes in, and that gives you your feast day. Okay? Read it again.
These are the feasts of the Lord, even holy convocations.
Even holy convocations, a true or righteous gathering. Good.
Which ye shall proclaim in their seasons.
Proclaim them in their seasons. Your Passover should be around late March, third week of April, for the most part every year. Good.
In the 14th day of the first month at even is the Lord's Passover.
So that's what we're going to celebrate this year, April 14th at even, the Passover. Good. Right? Anybody know why it's called the Passover? Yakin.
Because the angel of death passed over the blood posts on the door frames.
Good. Right? There's a man that's been reading and studying. Because the death angel, who was the death angel?
H.O.I.
Prove it. Don't yell out. Raise your hand. But yeah, Yahweh Shai is the death angel. We'll prove that. We'll get that later. All right. But what happened is the death angel passed over the Israelites' houses that put the blood on the doorpost and on the side posts as a signification that that house was a Hebrew house that served the Most High. Yahushua passed over the house and didn't kill the firstborn in the Hebrew's house. But all the Egyptian houses, it tell you in Exodus 12, from Pharaoh on the throne to the lowest Egyptian peasant, they all had one dead in their home. Their firstborn was dead. Khan? Right, so go ahead.
And on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread.
Now, that may sound confusing. When you read that, it may sound like it's talking about two different days. Khan? Read it again.
And on the 15th day of the same month.
No, read the verse before that.
In the 14th day of the first month at even.
The 14th day of the first month at even. When it says at even, it means when the 14th day is closing out, which would go into what? The 15th day. Khan? Read on.
Is the Lord's Passover. And on the 15th day of the same month.
So now it sounds like it's saying two different things. All it's doing is it's reiterating. It's saying in conjunction with. On this 15th day in conjunction with. And on the 15th day thereof. Go ahead.
Is the feast of unleavened bread.
So it sounds like it's two different things. It sounds like the Passover is the 14th day and the Feast of Unleavened Bread is the 15th day. Khan? But no. What it's actually saying is the Passover is in conjunction with the Feast of Unleavened Bread and it starts on the 15th day at even. The reason why I'm saying that, because, y'all might, H.O.I, we're not a camp that tell our congregation to only watch us, because we know y'all going to watch other people anyway, you know what I'm saying? But you might watch other Hebrews and you may get confused. They might say that the Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread is two separate days. Two separate days. It's not. The Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread both begin on the 14th at even, which is the 15th day. Khan, let's prove that whole lot. Go to Luke 22 and 1. Go to Luke 22 and 1. This is just some understanding on the Passover, Israel. Luke 22 and 1. The Feast of Unleavened Bread and the Passover is one and the same. They begin on the same night. We're going to further prove that later when we read Exodus, the 12th chapter. All right. Read that, Luke 22 and 1.
Luke chapter 22, verse 1. Now the feast of unleavened bread drew nigh.
The Feast of Unleavened Bread drew nigh. Come on.
Which is called the Passover.
Which is called what?
The Passover.
So the Feast of Unleavened Bread is the Passover. Okay? The reason why the significance of the Passover on the first night is because what? You eat the lamb. You eat the lamb, and Yahushua is also, he's known as the precious lamb. He's also known as the Passover himself. All right? His body, right? He embodies the spirit of the Passover. He is the Passover in his embodiment. All right? So when you check it out, it's not two separate dates or things. It's telling you the 14th day closing out is the 15th day. It's the Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread. We eat the lamb and the unleavened bread in that same night. Okay? Right, read it again. Luke 22 and 1.
Now the feast of unleavened bread drew nigh.
The Feast of Unleavened Bread drew nigh. Come on.
Which is called the Passover.
Which is called the Passover. All right, read on.
And the chief priests and scribes sought how they might kill him, for they feared the people.
Go ahead.
Then entered Satan into Judas, surnamed Iscariot.
Right, so they wanted to plot and scheme on how they was going to kill Yahushua, because the people was putting pressure on the Sanhedrin and the wicked Jews. They was putting pressure on the Roman rulers because Yahushua was doing so many miracles and having so much influence over the people. Come on.
Being of the number of the 12.
Go ahead.
And he went his way and communed with the chief priests and captains, how he might betray him unto them. Right,
the chief priests and the captains was like the Sanhedrin, the Pharisees, Sadducees, and the rulers at that time. They was plotting against Yahushua. He was a threat to their leadership and their power. Okay? So it was a power struggle. Right? Go ahead.
And they were glad and covenanted to give him money.
Right. They made a covenant to give Judas Iscariot money to set up and plot and kill Yahushua. Even though it was according to the Most High plan. Right? Go ahead.
And he promised and sought opportunity to betray him unto them in the absence of the multitude.
Right, said we're going to portray Yahweh in the absence of the multitude, once the Passover is kept. Go ahead. You got your sword out?
Then came the day.
We're in Luke 22 and 6. We're in the book of Luke, chapter 22 and the 6th verse. All right, everybody read along with the lesson. All right, go ahead.
Verse 7. Then came the day of unleavened bread.
So what's the day of unleavened bread? Passover. Con, they're one and the same. This verse is going to further prove it. Go ahead.
When the Passover must be killed.
When what?
The Passover must be killed.
Then the day of unleavened bread came when the Passover must be killed. Because what? We slew the lamb. We slew the lamb to get ready to roast it for the Passover. Con? So this verse 7 is also letting you know that the Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread is one and the same. Con? Right, go ahead.
And he sent Peter and John, saying, Go and prepare us the Passover, that we may eat.
Right, it said, go and prepare us the Passover that we may eat. Con? Right, prepare us the Passover. Get ready so that we may eat the Passover. We may eat the unleavened bread, the bitter herbs, and the lamb. All right, as we're going to read in Exodus 12. Good.
And they said unto him, Where wilt thou that we prepare?
Come on.
And he said unto them, Behold, when ye are entered into the city, there shall a man meet you, bearing a pitcher of water.
Go ahead.
Follow him into the house where he entereth in.
Go ahead.
And ye shall say unto the good man of the house, The master saith unto thee, Where is the guest chamber, where I shall eat the Passover with my disciples?
Go ahead.
And he shall show you a large upper room furnished. There make ready.
Right, see that? So, I heard another doctrine that Christ didn't eat the Passover. Right, read verse 11 again.
Verse 11, And ye shall say unto the good master of the house, The master saith unto thee, Where is the guest chamber, where I shall eat the Passover with my disciples?
That he may what?
Eat the Passover.
That I may eat the Passover. Go ahead.
With my disciples.
With my disciples. Go So, who said Christ didn't eat the Passover? He said, I'm going to eat it with my disciples. Go Right? Go ahead. And verse 12 again.
And he shall show you a large upper room furnished. There make ready.
Go ahead.
And they went and found as he had said unto them. And they made ready the Passover.
So they slew the lamb and they went to roast the lamb and get everything ready for the Passover. Go ahead.
And when the hour was come, he sat down, and the 12 apostles with him.
Right, so when the sun went down and it was officially, the actual Passover coming into the, Passover. Go ahead.
And he said unto them, With desire I have desired to eat this Passover with you before I suffer.
Right, so they said, Yahweh didn't eat the Passover. He said, with desire. I desire to eat this Passover with you. Go ahead. Right, go ahead.
For I say unto you, I will not any more eat thereof, until it be fulfilled in the kingdom of God.
So it sounds like Yahweh ate it to me. Con, what y'all think? He said, I'm not going to eat it again till the kingdom, but I desire to eat it with y'all now. Con? Right, come on.
And he took the cup and gave thanks and said, Take this and divide it among yourselves. For I say unto you, I will not drink of the fruit of the vine until the kingdom of God shall come.
He said, I'm not going to drink further of the fruit of the vine until the kingdom of Yahweh come. And why was he saying that? Because he was going to die the same day. Because remember, Yahweh died on the Passover. And that night he kept the Passover with the disciples. They slept, whatever. They came and got him. They kept him. And at 3 p.m. that next day, they crucified him. The 9th hour, which was 3 p.m. during that time. So within that 24-hour period of the Passover, Yahweh was crucified. So the Feast of Unleavened Bread and the Passover is one and the same. Everybody understand? All right, go back to Leviticus 23. So that was Luke 22, 1 through 18. Y'all can read that again on your own to get the understanding. All right, so basic Passover and New Year preparation. Where we at in Leviticus 23?
Verse 7.
Right, Leviticus 23 and 7. When everybody's back there, say Con.
Well, we could finish verse 6.
Read verse 6 again for the top. Leviticus 23 and 6 again for the top.
And on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread.
On the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread. Come on.
Unto the Lord.
Come on.
7 days ye must eat unleavened bread.
Anybody know what unleavened bread is? Don't yell out. Don't yell out. Sis?
Bread without yeast.
Bread without yeast. Good. Right? Con, all praises. All right? Sis know her stuff. Right? Read it again.
7 days ye must eat unleavened bread.
7 days you must eat unleavened bread. And not only unleavened bread, what else? What else you supposed to do for them 7 days concerning leaven? Let me see who knows. Rob Judah.
Throw it out your house, keep it out your
Right,
house.
got to get the leaven out of your house too, Con. So you brothers and sisters can start working on that now. Any products in your home that have yeast in them or leavening agents, you can start getting them out now. Or you can start eating them up. No, Passover is not till April 14th. You got time. All right, I don't mean you can't buy a loaf of bread next week. You still got plenty of time. But start now. Other stuff, maybe stuff you're not even eating, stuff that's old. Oh, I need to clean this cabinet out. I ain't eating this anyway. Cause stuff that expired maybe, you know, and you see, oh, it got leaven in it. Now, it's up to you to do your research, right? As we get closer to the Passover, we'll provide y'all with flyers and stuff that have of things that have leaven in them, or different modern names for leaven or leavening agents. Because, you know, Esau might call something monosodium chloride peroxidite. You know what I'm saying? And that's a long damn name for yeast, kind, or some kind of leavening agent or product. You want to stay away from all that during the Passover. So a Passover is a good time for you to study, for you to look stuff up, look at the stuff you consuming. You know, a lot of times you look on these food products, they got a list of damn ingredients this long. You don't know what the hell that stuff is, kind. So now this is a time for you to, during these 7 days, for you to look. And like we say every year at the Passover, it's the less ingredients, the better. All right, the less ingredients, the better. If it just say, you know, flour and water, you know what I'm saying? Now remember, flour is not yeast. Yeast is added to flour for what? To make it rise, con? So don't see flour and think flour is yeast. If something is just flour and it doesn't have any yeast in it, you can eat flour, because the bread we eat is flat bread. It has flour. Con? It's flour, water, eggs sometimes. But it's yeast you want to stay away from. Cakes, donuts, you know, rolls, bread. A lot of that stuff you shouldn't be eating anyway. Con? A lot of it is not. Passover trains you to eat healthy. Con? Eat a lot of fruits, a lot of vegetables, a lot of nuts, a lot of natural fruit juices. You know, you can eat meat, but, you know, you cook your different meats, your fish, all right, your grains, your potatoes, things of that nature. But stay away from a lot of that other stuff, Con, and balance it out. It is a good time to do more eating at home. Because if you eat out, you don't really know, you know, they're not going to give you a list of ingredients of what they put in their food. You know, you don't know what's in that food. So it trains you on eating more at home from Thursday, April 14th at even. Y'all should write this down. Thursday, April 14th at even, because that's when the Passover starts. Somebody put up a calendar real quick. Until the following Thursday, which I believe is Thursday, April 21st. Thursday, April 21st, I believe, is that following evening. So, from Thursday, April 14th at even, until Thursday, April 21st at even, you cannot eat any leaven, and you can't have any leaven in your homes. Do the best you can to get the leaven out of your house. You can, like I said, you can start from now. Stuff that's in your house that's old, expired. You know, if you buy a loaf of bread the first week of April, as long as you eat it up before the 14th, fine. All right, don't you don't have to start too early. But I'm just saying, now is the time. It's only the first week of March. You can start gearing your mind up. You got a good 6 weeks, 5 to 6 weeks. All right. So go back to Leviticus 23. So leaven is yeast. So anything, if you read ingredients, if you see anything with yeast, leavening or leavening agents, definitely. Those are 3 key words right there. Yeast, leaven, or leavening agents. Those are 3 things you know I definitely not eat that. Now, the leaven might be hidden in other names. We'll help y'all out the best we can. We usually give out flyers and stuff each year, so everybody knows some modern names of leaven. You know, I got to download it off the computer and make copies. But when in doubt, what?
Throw it out.
Throw it out. Con? When in doubt, leave it out or throw it out. Right? Con? If you don't know, you don't know. Just don't eat it. Con? If you don't know, just don't eat it. Con? Now, let's say Passover comes, right? Let's say Passover comes and you like, oh man, like the week before or a couple of days before Passover, you say, well, I want to get the leaven out of my house. You know, the best thing to do, if you might have a lot of stuff that's still good, that has leaven in it. Maybe you can tie it up, like if it's stuff that's non-perishable, maybe you can like tie it up and put it in a garage or tie it up and put it in a shed. It's just away from the house part so you don't get tempted to eat it. Okay? That's the main reason why the Lord tell us to remove the leaven out of our homes so you don't get tempted to eat it. Passover 7 days. Sometimes Negro got short-term memory. You see a big bun on your counter, you're like, man, I feel like me a turkey and cheese sandwich. You know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, you put that mayonnaise on that bun, put that turkey and cheese, and it's the fourth day of unleavened bread. What am I doing? Okay? That can happen. We're human. Okay? Right? We're human. That can happen. So these are just some pointers for y'all so you can keep the Passover as best as you can for the 7 days. Okay? All right. So, just prepare your mind. We got a good 5-6 weeks. Prepare your mind. Go ahead.
Leviticus
Get her from leaning over that.
Verse 7.
Go ahead.
And the first day ye shall have an holy convocation.
So on the first day we shall have a holy convocation. Leviticus 23, what verse you in?
7.
7. Leviticus 23 and 7. Go ahead, read it again.
And the first day ye shall have an holy convocation.
On the first day you shall have a holy convocation. What is a holy convocation again? By a show of hands. Yahweh?
Gathering.
What kind of gathering? You leaving a word out.
A righteous gathering.
A righteous, holy
gathering.
Righteous, true, or set apart gathering. Okay? That's what the word holy means. Come on.
Ye shall do no servile work therein.
You shall do no servile work therein. Now, what is servile work? By a show of hands.
Work for hire.
Work for hire. Work that you get paid for. Okay? All right, go ahead.
But ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord 7 days.
Right, you shall offer an offering made by fire to Yahweh 7 days. We're supposed to burn the offerings and the sacrifices. But now, under Yahweh, we are the living sacrifices. Okay? All right, go ahead.
And the 7th day is an holy convocation.
And the 7th day, so everybody write this down. Wednesday, April 20th at even, will be the closing of the Passover. All right? Wednesday, April 20th at even will be the closing of the Passover. Meaning what? That will be the night for the ceremony. Now, I know y'all heard me mention Thursday, April 21st. Thursday, April 21st at even is when you can go back to eating leaven. But the ceremony, the service will be Wednesday night. Why? Because it's the 7th day, it's not the 8th day. If we did it Thursday night, they'll be counting like how we count in this society. Well, Thursday to Thursday, that's 7 days. No, but remember, that Thursday sundown will be going to the 8th day. So you got to do it that Wednesday sundown because that's the 7th day. Everybody understand? Yeah. So Wednesday, April 20th at even will be the closing or the 7th day of Passover. That's a holy convocation. Mark your calendars. Take those days off. Okay? All right. The opening will be in Atlanta with all of H.O.I camps gathering. If you're, for whatever reason, you should try to make it. All right. But unless you got a good excuse. But if you don't make it for whatever reason, make sure you make the closing. Okay? And most likely I'll probably do the closing here. So we'll set it up and everything. I'll let y'all know. We'll plan it or whatever. But if for whatever reason, you should not miss the opening, but for whatever reason, make sure you do the closing. Or do both. Right? You're supposed to do both, technically. Right, go ahead.
You shall do no servile work therein.
Right, so servile work means work for hire. The only work you should be doing on the Passover is work concerning the Passover. Okay? All right, go ahead.
Verse 9. And the Lord spake unto
No, verse
Moses.
8.
Verse 8. But ye shall offer an offering made
Oh, we
by...
did read 8, right?
Con.
Right, read 8 one more time, Salakia.
But ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord 7 days. And the 7th day is an holy convocation. You shall do no servile work therein.
Right, so the Most High, basically told us. Let's go to Exodus chapter 12 and 1. Exodus chapter 12 and 1. Exodus 12 and 1. Shh, and sit up.
The book of Exodus,
What happened on Rod's head wrap?
chapter 12.
When everybody have it, say Khan.
Exodus chapter 12, verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you.
Right, jump over to 13, 3, and 4. Go to Exodus chapter 13, verses 3 and 4. This is how you prove when is the true Hebrew New Year, right? These two verses right here, there's many other scriptures we can get, but these two verses right here, cut, dry, this is how you can prove the New Year. Shh. Right, Exodus 13, 3 and 4.
Exodus 13, verse 3. And Moses said unto the people, Remember this day in which ye come out from Egypt, out of the house of bondage. For by strength of hand the Lord brought you out from this place. There shall no leavened bread be eaten. This day came ye out in the month of Abib.
Right, in the month what?
Abib.
The Lord said, This day came ye out in the month of Abib. Now go back to Exodus 12 and 2 again.
Exodus 12, verse 2. This month shall be unto you the beginning of months.
Go ahead.
It shall be the first month of the year to you.
The Lord said, This month shall be the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. Now read Salakia, read 13 and 4 again.
Exodus 13, verse 4. This day came ye out in the month of Abib.
All right, now read, this is the New Unger's Bible Dictionary. Read the word Abib on page 4. Read that, read this right here. All right, so when is the month Abib? The scholars and the historians going to tell you.
All right.
So when is the beginning of our year? When is our true new year? This particular year, it falls on Thursday, March 31st. Around, it usually comes, huh? Yeah, it usually comes around the, I want to say, anywhere from a couple of days before the vernal equinox or anytime after the vernal or what they call spring equinox. But your new year or new moon is usually going to fall around that spring equinox time. Or vernal equinox time. Read that, brother.
Definition of Abib. The month the Hebrews were divinely directed to make the first of the year as a memorial of their deliverance from Egypt.
Right. They was divinely inspired by the Most High to make this the first month of the year or our true new year. Not January 1st. This year, it's March 31st. Come on.
The Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread occurred in it.
The what?
The Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread occurred in it.
So even some of the scholars are confused as if to say the Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread are two different things. Go ahead.
And it marked the beginning of the barley harvest.
Go ahead.
On the 10th day, the Passover lamb was selected, and on the 14th day was slain and eaten. On the 15th day, the Jews began harvesting by gathering a sheaf of the barley, first fruits, and on the 16th day offered it.
Right, because the Feast of First Fruits started to be calculated from the Passover. Go ahead.
The slaying of the lamb was typical of the death of Christ. The Feast of Unleavened Bread of the believers' separated walk, while the waving of the sheaf of the first fruits spoke of the resurrection of Christ. The Jewish months were lunar and did not exactly correspond to ours, which are fixed.
In other words, our calculation of time is different from modern day times. Go ahead.
Abib corresponds to March through April.
It corresponds to what?
March through April.
See that? So it's letting you know, even the historians and the scholars know. When is the true new year of the Hebrews? March, April. Okay? So we're keeping it, what? Leviticus 23 in its proper season. Okay? That's it on that?
Nah.
Right, read on.
And his name was changed to Nisan.
Right after the Babylonian exile, the name was changed to Nisan, but we still acknowledge it as Abib or Abayab in the ancient Hebrew, the ancient Paleo-Hebrew. Come on.
After the exile.
Go ahead. That's it on that. Now read it in the Bible dictionary, Rob. The Zondavans. This was the Unger's Bible. Now Rob is going to read it out of the Zondavan Bible dictionary. Read that.
Realistic day before the first month of the year.
Right. It said Abib is the pre-exilic name. Pre-exilic meaning before Babylon, before the Babylonian exile. Pre-exilic name for what?
The first month of the year.
Is the pre-exilic name for the first month of the year. Come on.
After the exile name was changed to Nisan.
Nisan. Go ahead.
Nisan. It fell above the time of our March and early April.
It fell around the time of our March, early April. Okay? Right, Khan. That's it. That's all it need to say. Khan. Right, and the word Abib coming from the Hebrew Abayab, it means ear of corn or to spring forth. Hence, spring season. Khan. It means to spring forth or ear of corn. What an ear of corn springs in the season time, in the springtime. Khan. Because it's also what the new year is synonymous with the growth of the crops. That's why we have the first fruits. You start planting your first fruits, and 7 weeks later, you offer your first ripe fruits to the Most High. Khan is all in conjunction with one another. Right? So that's how we know. Quick. Bow. The new year. Abib. Abayab. All right. A-B. I can spell it. A-B-A-Y-A-B. Abayab in the ancient Paleo-Hebrew tongue. Abib. Abayab. A as in apple. B as in boy. A as in apple. Y as in yes, A as in apple, B as in boy. Abayab. Khan? I think the so-called white Jews say Aviv. I think they say Aviv or something like that because they replaced the B with the V, they replaced the Ba with the Va sound. Khan? All right, but it's Abayab in the ancient Hebrew. It means to spring forth or ear of corn. Khan? All right, so go back where we was at. Exodus 12, 1 and 2. You link it up with 3 and 4, and then you look up the meaning of the word Abib, bow. You know when a true Hebrew New Year starts. This year, it's March 31st at even. Okay? Thursday, March 31st at even.
Hopefully we won't get no more angry videos.
Okay? Angry videos for what? Go sit down somewhere, man. Cats need to go sit down somewhere. Good?
Wrong season.
Right, keeping in the wrong season, right? Oh yeah. My man, don't have a brain aneurysm or a goddamn conniption fit about the discrepancy. Now I think everybody's in April this year. I hope. I don't want nobody stoning me, man. I don't want no angry videos. God.
That's probably if it's 14 days after the New Year. Some people celebrated their New Year on the 1st. So they would be in March. And before the spring.
Oh, yeah, you're right. This new moon that just passed, some people did. Right. But remember, what did I explain? The 13th month. You got to have that 13th month, that intercalary month. Because now, okay, let's say some people celebrated their New Year this March 1st. That was a New Year for some people. They're going to have their Passover March 14th at even or 15th at even, whatever, right? Now, If they try to go by a 12-month rotation on a calendar, they're going to end up having a Passover in February next year.
Con.
Then the next year, it'll be January. Then the next year, it'll be December. So you got to have that intercalary month. Skip that month every 3 years to bring a balance back to the calendar. Okay? Because we're dealing with a solar and a lunar vibration with the Hebrew calendar. When Yahushua come back, everything will be put in order. Okay?
What is the 13th month called?
Say it again.
What's the 13th month called?
Who was here Tuesday night can help him out. We said it Tuesday night. We just said it, matter of fact, again. Who was here Tuesday night that can help him out? Nobody? Well, most of y'all wasn't here.
Is it the intercalary?
Say it again, sis. Intercalary month. Oh, sister's on point. God. We're gonna have you teaching a sister's class or something. All right. I still gotta monitor it though. Make sure you don't bring no doctrines in there. But nah. What is it called, sis? The 13th month is called the intercalary month. It didn't get a month according to the Hebrew calendar because it was a month that was added to equalize the calendar because of the discrepancy between the solar and lunar year. Con? Remember I told everybody to look it up? That was their homework. Con? She got it in her notes. Con? Sis got it in her notes. Con? Right? What is it called, sis? Intercalary month. See, the sister was taking her notes Tuesday night. Con? The 13th is also known. Wait, it got another name though. It also has another name. It's also known as what? It's two names. It's known as 13th month, but I gave y'all two names and I gave y'all to look them up. That was y'all homework.
Oh, I know.
Whoever was here. What's the second name, sis?
Is it Adar too?
Adar too. Good. That's what I'm talking about. Good. Right, sis taking meticulous notes. That's what I'm talking about. That's what we here for. Con? We not here to, Zabach, hurry up, man. What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? No, you're here to learn. Con? So you can teach her. Now, she can break that down to another sister. Con? Or even a brother, and then eventually she lead the brothers to us. Because we don't really like sisters teaching brothers. But if she initially meet a brother and drop the truth on him, she can break that down to him. And then she can say, well, I'm going to lead you to my husband and to the rest of the brothers, and they can take over teaching you, brother. Okay? We've had sisters do that. You know, initially, we don't encourage sisters to teach brothers, but we've had sisters bring brothers in the truth because they was knowledgeable of the scriptures, and they was able to break it down to brothers, and what? Eventually, they led the brothers to the congregation or their husbands or whatever for them to further learn. Okay? Kwame Ashala. All praises. Sis taking good notes, man. Bring it out.
Adar 2?
Yeah, Adar 2.
So the number 2?
Yes, the number 2. Adar, yeah.
And how do you...
Adar is the name of the 12th month. So basically, a scholar's term for it is like a second 12th month,
Gotcha.
or 13th month, or an intercalary month. Intercalary meaning a month placed between the 12th month and the first month so that the calendar can be balanced out. Okay? You know how they have leap year? It's like a leap month in the year. So that's what it's based upon. So Adar 2 or intercalary month. That's what it's also known as. Or 13th month.
And how would you pronounce it in Paleo Hebrew?
Say it again.
How would you pronounce that in Paleo?
Pronounce what?
Adar.
Adar.
Oh, same?
Yeah, it's the same. Yeah, right? Go ahead.
Right, okay.
Go ahead. So read where we was at?
No, we're doing Exodus 13.
Exodus 13 and 3 and 4, right? No, go back to Exodus 12 and 3. Exodus 12 and 3. Bless you, Barakatah. All right, Exodus 12 and 3.
It's the book of Exodus, chapter 12, verse 3. Speak ye unto all the congregation of Israel, saying, in the 10th month, and the 10th day of this month.
Salakia. Shawapar said Amalek calls it a pregnant year. What the hell? The hell they get that from? Pregnant year. Right, go ahead, brother. Read on.
In the 10th day of this month.
Go ahead.
They shall take to them every man a lamb, according to the house of their father.
So on the 10th day of the month, right? So let's say April 9th, right? April 9th at even, you were supposed to you were supposed to take you a lamb. You're supposed to find you a lamb. April 9th going into April 10th, of course. You know, even going into the 10th, you find a lamb within that day. Go ahead.
A lamb for an house. And if the household be too little for the lamb, let him and his neighbors next unto his house take it according to the number of the souls. Every man according to his eating shall make your count for the lamb.
Right, so when we was in the land of Egypt, the Most High told us, get a lamb. If the lamb is too big for your family, you share the lamb with your neighbor's household. Con? Right, go ahead.
Your lamb shall be without blemish.
Go ahead. Without blemish, meaning spot, any ailments, any sicknesses. Your lamb should be without blemish. Come on.
A male of the first year.
Hold on. Brother Yakim got a question.
Does that mean we shouldn't break their bones?
No, we can't. No, we're not supposed to break their bones. We're gonna get that later. All right? We're going to get that later. You're not supposed to break the bones of the lamb. No, go ahead.
Your lamb shall be without blemish.
Come on.
A male of the first year.
A what?
Male of the first year.
Right, so technically, the way we roast the lambs now, you know, most brothers would get the lamb cut up, but you suppose that in the ancient time, we took the lamb and we just removed the inward parts and stuck a damn stake through that thing and rotisserie on fire, right? We ain't break no bones or nothing, con. But now, you know, you get the lamb, you might get it chopped up and then roasted. We rehearsing the righteous acts, con. But in the ancient time, you just put that lamb on a rotisserie hole and you didn't break, you know, none of the bones. Con? Right, come on.
You shall take it out from the sheep or from the goat.
Right, if you was a little less fortunate, goats were cheaper. And, you know, most people at least had a goat on their farm, so you can do the goat. But the lamb is the primary meat. But goat was allowed for those that were less fortunate. Con? Right? Go ahead. But this kingdom, they make you pay for goat too. Con? Right? Especially in the supermarket. At the slaughterhouse, it's cheaper. But in the supermarket, they make you pay damn near as much as the lamb. Right? Go ahead.
And ye shall keep it up until the 14th day.
And you get that lamb you pick your lamb out on the 10th day, and you keep it up to the 14th day. Come on.
Of the same month.
Of the same month. Go ahead.
And the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening.
What did the Lord say?
And the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening.
You shall kill it in the evening as the sun is going down. You kill that lamb. Go ahead.
And they shall take of the blood and strike it on the two side posts and on the upper door post.
So that's what brother Yakim was bringing out earlier. They shall take the blood from the lamb and you strike it on the top post of your door and the two side posts of your door. Go ahead.
Wherein they shall eat it.
That's the house that you're going to eat it in. Go ahead.
And they shall eat the flesh in that night, roast with fire.
So now, people that are vegan, you must still eat the lamb on the Passover. Con? It's part of the ordinance of the Most High. If you're vegan, you still got to eat the lamb. That's part of the law. Right? Come on. It's part of the Seder meal or the order meal. It's part of the commandment. Come on.
And they shall eat the flesh in that night.
Go ahead. Hold on. Shem the Great. Eat it in haste. No fancy. See, we didn't get to that yet. We're going to get to that. All right. Don't jump the gun. We're going to get to that. All right. Go ahead.
And they shall eat the flesh in that night.
You shall eat the lamb, the flesh in that night. Come on.
Roast with fire.
Roast the lamb with fire. All right. No red meat like Esau. Con? Roast that lamb well done. The best way to roast the lamb is rotisserie, open fire. If you can't do rotisserie, you do grill. Con? If you can't do grill or you home and you can't congregate anywhere for the Passover, you don't have a grill, you can do oven, Most High understands. You can put it on broil so you can get that roast flavor, or watch it though so it don't burn. Or you can put it at the bottom of the oven, don't burn it. Or you can just roast it, just bake it in the oven. But you're supposed to roast it with fire. Get as close to the law as possible. If you're keeping it home and you got a grill outside but no open pit or rotisserie, then just grill it on your grill. Okay? Don't be over righteous. The Most High understands. As long as your lamb is cooked and not raw like Esau. Okay? Cook it well done. Brown and done in the middle. Okay? Right? But do the best you can. Whichever way you can cook it with fire, cook it with fire. Come on.
Roast with fire.
You got these brothers now. They make these pits now. I seen maybe within the last 5 years. You know, Israel get creative. You know, the super brews. We're gonna do it just like the Lord. I'm gonna get as close to the Lord just like we did it. So brothers will build like a rotisserie pit, like a brick rotisserie pit. And they put the lamb down in it and roast it in the pit. Okay? Right, go ahead.
Roast with fire. And
the Lord said, roast the lamb with fire. Go ahead.
And unleavened bread.
Unleavened bread. What is unleavened bread? Again, by a show of hands. Yahweh. Bread without yeast, like the flat bread. Or, you know what? During Passover, it's good to eat at Issachar restaurant because they got the tortillas, right? That you just got to have some bread. They got the tortillas, and a lot of times they don't have yeast in them. Kind of flat bread. Kind of Issachar's in the spirit in the Passover. Kind. Go ahead.
And with bitter herbs.
And with what?
Bitter herbs.
The Lord said, roast with fire and with bitter herbs. Bitter herbs is what they call horseradish. Kind. Is horseradish root. So let's say, hypothetically speaking, I don't want to put this in the universe, but for you brothers and sisters that don't make it and you're going to keep it at home, make sure you go to the market and you get horseradish root and you chop it up. That's the bitter herb. Even the scholars tell you, it ain't no romaine letters. It ain't no whatever else they try to use as bitter herbs. It's horseradish, and it's bitter. Believe you me, right?
Only?
Huh?
Only horseradish?
I mean, they have so-called other bitter herbs, but when you read the history, the true bitter herb was the horseradish, because that's what's going to give you that best bitter. When you eat the horseradish, you're going to cry. You're supposed to cry because it's supposed to remind you of the bitter captivity and bondage that we suffered in Egypt. Matter of fact, get that. Exodus 1:11. All right, so this is mainly for the new people. Y'all veterans, y'all supposed to know this stuff. Go back over it, refresh. But this is mainly for the new brothers and sisters, how to prepare and keep the Passover. Okay? So y'all understanding? So y'all understanding?
Yes.
Good. All right. So when April 14th at even come, you shouldn't be texting me, Elder, what's bitter herbs? You know what I'm saying? You should know. Good? All right. You was in the class or you saw the video, you got the notes, whatever. No, but you should be congregating. There's a holy convocation. There's a commandment. Sacrifice. Go in and spend that tax money because you know you're going to spend it on folly and come on to the Lord's Passover. Okay? Right. Go ahead.
Exodus 1, verse 11.
Come on.
Therefore, they did set over them taskmasters.
The Egyptians, when we was in Egypt, you know the story. You read Exodus, the first chapter. We started to rise and multiply as a people. So the Egyptians feared us, and they feared that if we got too big, we would get together with their enemies and take them over. So they said we got to put them in bondage and captivity. Same thing they do here in America. The so-called white man, anybody that's a threat, he overthrows them. He kills them. What did J. Edgar Hoover say? Well, there will not be a rise of a black Messiah. Because what? We have multiplied in America. Slavery didn't destroy us. So we continue to multiply. So Esau got to neutralize us, keep us in captivity, keep us in bondage, keep the curses on us so we don't rise up and become a threat. Khan? Same thing in Egypt. That's why America is modern day Egypt. Khan? Right, come on.
Therefore, they did set over them taskmasters.
They did set over Israel taskmasters. Come on.
To afflict them.
To do what?
Afflict them.
To afflict us, right? Same thing here in America. Wasn't the slave master a taskmaster? Mm-hmm. Right? Didn't he have that whoop? Didn't he say, nigga boy, get down to that pit and pick that cotton, nigga boy? Mm-hmm. Right? Didn't the Spaniards do it in our northern kingdom brothers and sisters? Mm-hmm. Right? Didn't they do it in Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, Mexico? Oh, forget it, man. The northern kingdom history is damn near bloodier than Judas. Okay? Gad, they did it to the Gadites. All right, so, this man was bloody and evil to our people. And the Egyptians, they afflicted us also. Right?
Was?
Huh?
Was?
Say it again?
Was?
I'm talking about Egypt.
Oh.
Yeah. They was blood. They afflicted us in Egypt. They was afflicting us in Egypt like Esau is doing today in America. All right? Not was. Esau still is. They was back in Egypt, but in modern day Egypt, Esau is still doing it.
Right.
Go ahead. So like if I misspoke. Right, go ahead.
To afflict them with their burdens.
Come on.
And they built for Pharaoh treasure cities.
Go ahead.
Pithom and Ramses.
So we built for Pharaoh treasure cities. Go ahead.
But the more they afflicted them,
The more they afflicted Israel, go ahead.
the more they multiplied
The
and
more
grew.
we multiplied and grew. We don't die, we multiply. Even now, man, we just keep having babies. And the blessing now is, I always bring this out, there's a lot of brothers and sisters in the truth having children. Every time I turn around, Israel, oh, when you're not at camp, brother, you know what I'm saying? That's a good thing, though. You're making another Israelite, God. You're not at camp for a feast day. I see what you've been doing, God. You know, you making more babies, God. Right, go ahead.
But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew.
Right, the more they afflicted us, Salakia, y'all, I want to respond to all y'all comments, but these letters so small on this goddamn face, on this phone. Right, I see y'all saying some stuff. I see y'all. All right, shalom, everybody. Everybody's coming in the building. Shalom. I know y'all got jokes, too. All right, I'll look at them later when I look at the comments. I know y'all got jokes, right? Especially Yin Ya's in the building. Right, I know he got some jokes. Shamapar, I know y'all got some jokes. Come here, Shala. Right, go ahead.
And they were grieved because of the children of Israel.
They were grieved because of the children of Israel, right? We didn't die, we multiply, right? Like baby kids, right? Go ahead.
And the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor.
Right, they made us to serve with rigor, with hardness. Come on.
And they made their lives bitter.
They made our lives what?
Bitter.
They made our lives bitter. Come on.
With hard bondage.
With what?
Hard bondage.
So that's what the bitter herbs represent. How many of y'all had the bitter herbs already at Passover? Just Rob. Everybody else is new. Right? You first time you ate them, you teared up, right? Yeah, that is supposed to do that. It's supposed to be so bitter, right, that you tear up when you bite into it. Right? Especially when brothers cut them into them big chunks, you know what I'm saying?
Like the silly folly that the hot chips challenge people be
Yeah, God, yeah. It's so bitter, but that tear represents that hard bondage. Remembering that hard bondage and bitter bondage in Egypt. Okay? All right, go ahead.
In mortar and in brick.
In mortar and in brick. Meaning basically what? We built up the Egyptian kingdom. That's the same thing in America. We built up the white man's kingdom. If it's not literal mortar and brick, we build a society. We make the society what it is. Whether it's sports, whether it's entertainment, whether it's the corporate world. Israel is the salt of the earth. Black, Latino, Native Americans, we make every society what it is. Okay? We build it up. Even if it's, like I said, even if it's not the brick or the mortar, our spirit, our, what they call it, our swag. You know what I'm saying? We build up everything through the spirit, physically, everything. We add spice and flavor to everything. Okay? Right, so go ahead.
And in all manner of service.
In all manner of service, right? Who's the worker bees in this society? The blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. We the ones working for everybody, building up everything. Right? Bring it out.
And building up their wealth.
And building up their wealth. Right? Yeah, what's the quote I quoted before, Stephen A. Smith? I wake up every morning. Right? Was it him or the other guy?
Which one?
I wake up every morning to see how I could make my bosses more money.
That's
Stephen A. Smith, right? Yeah, Coon.
Yeah.
Coon, Stephen C. Smith. Stephen Coon Smith. Right? I wake up every morning to see how I can make my bosses more money. Right? And how to get some of it. Oh, you're going to throw that in there. Right? Coon Smith, right? But yeah, we in all manner of service. We building their wealth. We're the biggest consumers.
Yeah.
Right? Everything, man. The clothes, the fashion, the clubs, everything is us, man. The entertainment. Right? Like I said, the sports, the entertainment, everything is Israel. Right?
I mean, in slavery, we built up trillions of dollars in today's money worth of wealth for the country. Based on our free slave labor.
That's what they call that old money.
Right.
Right? But we still giving them the new money.
For sure, it's still.
We still giving them the new money. You know what I'm saying? Remember back in New York, I think it was about 5-6 years ago, maybe 7. There was a Jake, right? He went into Barney's. Barney's is like a high-end fashion store up in New York. And he went in there to buy he wanted to buy a $300 belt, right? And it said something about he had a credit card, but they was like, oh, you can't afford the belt, or you tried to steal it. Something. I don't remember the story all the way. Something. But everybody was like, that's what you get for going in a white man's high-end store and buying a belt for $300.
Oh, Jim Jones. Yeah, Jim
Right?
Jones.
You know what I'm saying? No, not Jim Jones. It was a regular Jake. It was a regular
okay.
junk Jay. He was trying to buy a belt for $300 out of Barney's.
Oh, okay.
And then Jay-Z got involved. It became a big story and everything. But some people was like, that's what you get. Nigga, for $300, you can make you 100 belts. You can get your own leather and learn how to be a craftsman and make 10, 20, 50 belts. You know what I'm saying? But he just had to have this name brand belt to show off to everybody, pull his shirt up, my belt costs $300, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Just to show off, we giving them new money too. We giving them billions and trillions of dollars in new money. So then Jay-Z came in and Jay-Z was like, oh, I think they said something where we need to merge the hip hop and urban community with the high-end fashion community. So basically they put like all this urban rockaway and other brands in there to make it more or seem more urban. Because they was like, sometimes we like high-end fashion also, something like that. Remember the singer Tory Lanez? Remember he went in the store and they was following him around and they was like, oh, you can't afford that. And this idiot, like a dummy, he turns around and buy $35,000 worth of stuff out of the store to prove to them, just because I'm a nigga and you think I don't got it, I'm going to show you I got it.
Yeah.
Dummy. They was showing you that they're racist and they hate you. I wouldn't have gave them 35 cents. He going to go spend to prove a point that he got it, to prove the master that he got the money. So let me back off of what Yahweh is saying. We made them the old money and slavery, and we still making them the new money. It's still Edomites and other nations. They becoming millionaires overnight off of our people. Right to this day, 2022. But us, all we worried about is tearing each other down. All we worried about is being against each other. All we worried about is hating each other. All we worried about is not being our brother's keeper. You know what I'm saying? We worried about this being jealous and envious of one another. All right, we worried about that. Not having respect for one another. Not even knowing how to have a conversation with your fellow brother or sister and work it out when there's a problem. No communication. Everybody's proud, puffed up. You know what I'm saying? So these are the things that keep us, that hinder us as a nation, even in 2022. Who had their hand up? Rob Judah.
Yeah, this happened to Jim Jones. He went to the Gucci store. He got discriminated. I guess they wouldn't come to see him. He said, I've been here, blah, blah, blah. I got $30,000 of fee. He was all over the internet talking about how he was discriminated against, and he got the manager. The manager was black, and he said, no, we helping other customers. And he was bragging about he got 30,000 bands to spend, and this is the treatment I get. I said, so I was like, man, you need to go start your own clothing.
Right,
You got
Vampire Life, yeah.
Like, why you in Gucci trying to brag about?
But he shouldn't have a clothing line exhorting vampires either. But you know, I mean, at least, damn, you got your own clothing line. Spend $30,000 on your own clothes. I mean, if I came out with a full-fledged clothing line, I probably wouldn't even wear nobody else's clothes. I'd probably just wear all my clothes. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like a full-fledged clothing line. I would probably support other Israelites still, but you know, all my clothes would be mine. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, this from my line. You know what I'm saying? But it just goes to show you, they gotta have Gucci. You know what I'm saying? They gotta have it. So just going on with what Yahweh was saying, we making them the old money and the new money. You know what I'm saying? Bring it out. Who had their hand up?
But on the back end of that, no matter how much, like Jay-Z or whomever, no matter how much money you're making, you got to give back to the community. Or you ain't no better than Esau. In that regard.
I mean, Jay-Z does little things here and there. He got you know, he gave a whole bunch of money for water in Africa, which that's him. That's not our people. But he does little things here and there. He did that documentary, and that brother, man, that was jacked up. That brother ended up committing suicide. But Jay-Z was behind that prison reform, Rikers Island reform, with the brother that committed suicide.
With the backpack.
Khalif Browder, with the backpack. He spent all that time on Rikers Island and he was innocent. And that brother was so depressed, he committed suicide. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's just jacked up, these curses, man. You know, our people are messed up. We got, you know, we don't develop generational wealth. You know, our money goes out of the community. You know, we always trying to get over on each other. Now, this chick, Delicious, they said she done took the brother from the Central Park 5, the Ephraim brother. They said she spent up his $8 million, and now she divorcing him. Yeah.
Oh, Delicious from Flavor of Love?
Yeah, Flavor of Love. Delicious from Flavor of Love. Yeah. She married one of the brothers from the Central Park 5, And they got all that money in the settlement. You know what I'm saying? I think they got about $8 million apiece.
Yeah.
They said his money, she done spent up his money, and now she about to divorce him. See that all his money gone? Well, probably not all his money. I don't know what the man got or don't have. But basically the headline said she spent up his $8 million, now she divorcing him. See that? Instead of us keeping the money in the family, letting the wealth grow, passing it down to our children, they passing it down. Now she done spent this bread up, gonna go off with, probably still gonna walk away with some of it, and buy all this name brand and live the life of Raleigh and be a whore and probably just lay with different men that got money. She gonna lay with this man because he got the Bentley, lay with that man because he got the Ferrari, lay with that man because he got the Benz, you know what I'm saying? Lay with that man because he a baller. And now what? And just live her life with this brother's money or whatever. And that money gonna go back to Esau, because a woman like that, she's worried about the life. She's worried about the name brand. Yeah. She's worried about what people think of her. She's worried about the car, everything. She's worried about material things. So that's what she's gonna end up doing. So that that's not a strong Israelite family where that wealth is circulating within that family to be passed down to other Israelites and possibly to build businesses, home ownership, and different things that's stable, commercial wealth or whatever, generational wealth to keep within the family and to possibly pass on to other Israelites, create jobs and businesses where you can hire your own people. They can start building wealth. It's not going to happen. She too busy. I got that nigga for that $8 million. Now I'm going to go screw a whole different bunch of men that got money and ball out back and forth with everybody, and that money going to go back to Esau.
And all she got is a closet full of $5,000 purses.
Yeah, all she got is a closet full of $5,000 purses, $2,000 shoes, a couple of name brand cars, a couple of high-end cars outside, maybe a nice house, which is nothing wrong with none of that technically, but that money, just get that $5,000 back to Esau for a Gucci bag. Instead of taking $5,000, creating your own leather bag company of your own and selling to your own people, your own name brand, and circulating it within your community. And don't charge $5,000 for it. You can charge $50 for a nice leather bag. You know what I'm saying?
And Gucci and Versace and whomever else, Scalarachi, whoever, they all are homosexuals usually. And you wear their brand on your body, some homosexual.
And a lot of them say that their clothes are not made for us.
Yeah.
They say that we don't really care for the urban community wearing our clothes. That means black people.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, but you niggas want to spend your money. Okay, fine. Timberland said that. Yeah. Timber was like, our boots are not made for they said urban, but you know what they meant.
Yeah, for sure.
And then they was like, well, no, when all that controversy came out about Timberland, that's when they start coming with all them styles and colors. Mm-hmm. So then they started, more so, I would say, catering to the so-called Negro community. Because I remember they started bringing the trucks downtown Brooklyn. They had the different colors and styles because now they had an urban team watching Jake and Eve to see what we like. Because they watch us to see what the latest styles and trends are.
They said that the 90s, Tommy Hilfiger said the same.
Yeah, Tommy Hilfiger. That's why Spike Lee mocked him in that movie Bamboozled. Mm-hmm. Spike Lee mocked him and called him Timmy Hill nigga. Right. Watch that movie Bamboozled when you get a chance, right? Timmy Hill nigga, right? Yeah, good. All right, so let's continue on, all right? Where we at?
Exodus 1.
Exodus 12. No. Oh, we was at Exodus 1. We was talking about the bitter herbs. Yeah, representing the hard bondage. So everybody understand? So this year, for you new brothers and sisters, when you eat the Passover, when you eat the bitter herb, you're going to feel that burn in your chest and your neck, and that tear going to come down your eye. God, and then you go back to Exodus 1 and 14, and Exodus 12, and what verse that was in? In 12, with the bitter herbs?
8.
Verse 8, right? And you understand what the bitter herbs are about, Khan? So for those, even on the online world, we know hundreds, possibly thousands of brothers and sisters are going to see this. So for those that, for whatever reason, you have to keep the Passover at home, your Passover meal consists of lamb, bitter herbs, which is horseradish root cut up, and unleavened bread, which is bread without yeast. All right, Khan. Read on.
Exodus 12, verse 8.
Go ahead.
And they shall eat the flesh in that night, roast with fire and unleavened bread.
Go ahead.
And with bitter herbs.
So that's the Passover meal right there. Even if you're vegan, you got to eat a little piece of the lamb. Khan? It shouldn't kill you. Right? Come on.
and with bitter herbs they shall eat it.
Go ahead.
Eat not of it raw.
The Lord said, don't eat of it raw. Go ahead.
Nor sodden at all with water.
Don't sodden it with water. What does it mean? Anybody know what it means when it says sodden with water? Sodden with water. Don't eat it raw like Esau. That's the first thing the Most High said. Cook that meat. Don't eat it raw like the devil with the blood in it. And it said, nor sodden at all with water. Anybody? Hakeem?
Are you talking about boiling it?
Boiling it. You can't boil it or stew it. You know how they say boil meat or stew it? You put water in the pot and you boil or stew the meat. You put some potatoes and carrots and make a stew. No, you can't boil it or stew it. Right, go ahead.
But roast with fire.
But what?
Roast with fire.
But roast with fire. Come on.
His head with his legs, and with the pertinence thereof.
Right, meaning the rest of the body. Go ahead.
And ye shall let nothing of it remain until the morning.
Go ahead.
And that which remaineth of it until the morning.
So the Passover night, when you roast your lamb, you're supposed to eat all the lamb in that night. Okay? Right, you can eat it all throughout the night, but as it comes to the morning, go ahead.
Ye shall burn with fire.
You shall what?
Burn with fire.
So once the morning comes, if there's any of that lamb left, you're supposed to burn it with fire. Whatever you didn't eat throughout that night, once the morning comes in, if you have lamb left, you burn it with fire. Go ahead.
And thus shall ye eat it.
And this is how you eat it for you brothers, especially for you brothers. Go ahead.
With your loins girded.
You're supposed to have a full garment on, right? No T-shirt with fringes on the Passover. Con?
Sure.
Because you can't put a girdle around T-shirt with fringes. You can, but it's going to look foolish. Right, Con? Unless it's a long, you wear damn large and you get a 3X T-shirt, it's going to be like a garment on you. But no, get a garment made for the Passover. Con?
God.
Right, go ahead. And get a girdle. Right, come on.
With your loins girded.
You're supposed to have your loins girded, your garment on with your loins girded. Come on.
Your shoes on your feet.
Your boots or your shoes. We don't really wear sneakers or any tennis shoes, y'all call them out here on the West Coast. We don't wear that. We wear shoes or boots, preferably boots, because it's a time of warfare. Right? Come on.
And your staff in your hand.
And you're supposed to have your staff in your hand when you eat the Passover, okay? So you brothers, make sure you have your staff, your shoes on your feet, and your garment on with your girdle around it. Come on.
And ye shall eat it in haste.
What the Lord say?
Ye shall eat it in haste.
Eat it in haste. Now, we in captivity. You can take your time a little bit. That was more so when we was fleeing out of Egypt. All right, and you had to eat it in haste because eventually we was going to flee out the land and the Egyptian armies was going to pursue us. Right, come on.
It is the Lord's Passover.
It is what?
The Lord's Passover.
It is the Lord's Passover. Come on.
For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and will smite all the firstborns of the land of Egypt.
I will what?
Smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt.
Come on.
Both man and beast.
Go ahead.
And against all the gods of Egypt.
Go ahead.
I will execute judgment.
Meaning the top leaders in Egypt, it was no respect of persons. Every household where they had a firstborn, it was someone dead. If you was the princess or the leaders, down to the low-level servant. Go ahead.
I am the Lord.
Read.
And the blood shall be to you for a token upon the house is where ye are. And when I see the blood, I will pass over you. And the plague shall not be upon you to destroy you.
Right, so he said, when you put the blood on the door, I will not cause the death angel to come into your house and kill the firstborn, because I know the death angel will know that's a sign that is a Hebrew household, and do not kill any of the firstborn in that household. Come on.
When I smite the land of Egypt, and this day shall be unto you for a memorial.
For what?
Memorial.
This day shall be unto you for a memorial, meaning we shall always keep it and remember it. Come on.
And ye shall keep it a feast to the Lord throughout your generations.
Do I win?
Your generations.
So now you may also hear during the Passover season that we cannot keep the Passover outside of Jerusalem, right? You're not supposed to keep the Passover outside of Jerusalem. Now, what cuts that? I'll give y'all a hint. We're reading it right now. If somebody come to you, or some super righteous, super wannabe knowledgeable brew come to you and say, we in captivity, we ain't supposed to keep the Passover outside of the gates of Jerusalem's. Yahweh?
But you're supposed to keep it throughout your generation, and that's supposed to supersede the location.
Khan, the excellent answer, but something else. What we're reading right now cuts that. What we're reading right now, right? Yakin.
It says you should keep it unto you for a memorial throughout all your generations.
That's true. That's basically what Yahweh has said. But what we're reading it now, what cuts it? We're reading Exodus the 12th chapter. What cuts that thing about you can only keep it in Jerusalem? We're reading Exodus 12. And we just read Exodus 1. That's 2 hints. Y'all should get it now. Oh, don't yell out. All right, Yahweh.
Because it's in Egypt.
It's in Egypt. The first Passover was in Egypt. God? So what's wrong with these brews talking about we not supposed to keep it outside of Jerusalem? Guess what? The first 41 Passovers was not in Jerusalem. Because from Egypt, we went to the wilderness for 40 years. God? And when you read later on, you see in the second year that we came out of Egypt, we did the Passover. As when you read in the history, we kept doing it. So guess what? Those 41 Passovers wasn't in Egypt. And we had to do the Passover still in the wilderness because the Most High said there's an ordinance forever, no matter where you at. Okay? So the first 41 Passovers was not in Jerusalem. So he said, keep it as a memorial throughout your generations. The Most High wouldn't know that we would be in captivity in different lands. So that cuts that. There was a time where the Lord did tell us to keep it in Jerusalem, but throughout time in our different captivities, when we fell, he said we would come back and we would start keeping the feast days in the land of our captivities. Okay? Yakin.
When was the first Passover in Jerusalem?
Say it again?
When was
that was later on when we got into the land, after Joshua and Moses and during that period. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
In verse 11, well, Exodus 12, verse 11, where it says you should have your shoes on, didn't most of them in the desert and so forth, weren't they wearing sandals? Or is that constant? They might have been wearing sandals. They might have been wearing shoes. Remember, in Deuteronomy, the Lord said, in 40 years, I didn't cause your shoes to wither. So you got to remember, the wilderness, that region of the earth, they have 4 seasons also. Sure. So you can't wear sandals all year round. Sure. So he said, I'll cause your shoes not to wax old. So they most likely had on a combination maybe of shoes and sandals, you know. They was out in the wilderness. During the hotter months, they got a leather strap or something, you know what I'm saying, in the colder months, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But when it says shoes, in that case, if someone has sandals, it would typify that they had a sole on with something covering their foot on the top, and that would constitute as shoes as well.
In this day and age, just wear some shoes.
No, I know.
Just put on some shoes or some boots, brother. That's all. All right, Khan? All right. Don't wear no sandals to the Passover, especially no open-toe ones, right? Unless it's 100 degrees outside. But I don't want to see your toes. But anyway, just put on some shoes or boots, brother. Khan? All right, so go ahead.
Throughout your generation.
Come on. What verse you in?
Verse 14.
Right, read on.
You shall keep it a feast by an ordinance forever. 7 days shall ye eat unleavened bread.
Go ahead.
Even the first day ye shall put away leaven out of your house.
Right, so remember, we said that you get rid of the leaven out of your homes also. All right. It said that 7th day, meaning what? Don't wait till that 7th day to get rid of the leaven. Meaning, by that 7th day, the leaven should be out of your houses. Khan, go to, so I can read that verse again.
Verse 15, Exodus 12 and 15. 7 days shall ye eat unleavened bread. Even the first day ye shall put away leaven out of your houses. For whosoever eateth leavened bread from the first day until the 7th day, that soul shall be cut off from Israel.
Right, so the Most High took it serious back then. He said you can be in danger of being put to death if you don't keep this ordinance. Khan? So now, what is the other leaven that we have to remove out of our houses? By a show of hands. Give me 1 Corinthians 5 and 7. All right? Yahweh.
Leaven and liquids such as beer and other.
No, that goes along with like food and leaven in your house. Yeah, you know, beer has yeast in it. God, yeah. But there's another type of leaven that we have to remove from our houses also. Let's see what that leaven is. 1 Corinthians 5 and 7. When everybody have it, say, Khan. All right. Okay.
1 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 7.
Good.
Purge out therefore the old leaven.
You might as well start at 1 to get the understanding. All right, 1 Corinthians 5 and 1. We're just going to go to the top. We're going to go from the top to get the understanding. 1 Corinthians 5 and 1. Read that.
1 Corinthians chapter 5. It is reported calmly that there is fornication among you.
Right, so Paul was speaking to the church in Corinth. And he said it's reported commonly that there's fornication among you. Come on.
And such fornication as is not so much as named among the Gentiles.
Such fornication that's not even named amongst the Gentiles. See, Israel, man, when we was going off, the Most High was like, damn, y'all sins damn near worse than the heathen sometime. Come? Right, come on.
That one should have his father's wife.
That what?
That one should have his father's wife.
Now, who's your father's wife?
Your mother.
Your mother or what else?
Or your stepmother.
Or your stepmother, Con? Right, so the scholars tell you that more likely than not, Paul was speaking about your stepmother because he said your father's wife. When he could have just said your mother. You know, said somebody sleeping with your mother, but that's still like a mother figure to you. Your father's wife. So Paul was saying, look, man, it's fornication among y'all damn near worse than the Gentiles. Even anybody in their right mind knows not to sleep with their stepmother. Because that's what Paul is saying, basically. Damn, even some of the Gentiles know that. But this was going on in the church in Corinth, inside the Corinth. It's how wicked Israel was. And we gotta swallow that pill, man. Because that's what, man, that's sleeping with your father's wife. It's adultery. You breaking the law of adultery, and you breaking the law of nearest of kin. Remember Leviticus 18, it tells us not to sleep with nearest of kin. All right, you're not supposed to sleep with your mother-in-law or your aunt or your cousin, or you know what I'm saying? But there's a debate about that in Israel. But none nearest of kin. I'm not sleeping with my cousin. I don't get, especially my first cousin. And some of my first cousins look just like me. They just female versions. Like, damn, I'm looking at me, a female me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, just certain things. Certain stuff is common. So what the hell you need to sleep with your cousin for? But there's a debate in Israel about that, and I'll leave that right there. But I'm not sleeping with my cousin. My first cousin or my damn 80th cousin. You know, in the South, they do that, though.
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah, they do. No, they do that in the South, yeah. You know we third cousins, right? But that's my wife. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they do that. You have babies and everything. Yeah. They do that heavily in the South, man. Sometimes first cousins. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Most of them have Down syndrome.
Yeah, a lot of children come out jacked up. Yeah, or sometimes they don't. They just, I slept with my cousin and the child is who it is. We all keeping it in the family. And we know Esau's incestuous as hell.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so Esau got whole towns, like Demerara up in New York, where Clinton Correctional Facility is at. That town is known for high levels of incest amongst Edomites. They say everybody in the town is sleeping with everybody in town family. And Esau's already deformed, so, you know, the child come out, whatever. But my brother was breaking it down to me because he's locked up there. Well, he was locked up in Clinton. He said, man, this whole town, he said, that's a known fact. This whole town is known for incest. These white people, they sleep with cousin, brother, mother, everything. Yeah. See that? But this was going on with Israel in the Church of Corinth. So that's adultery, and that's sleeping with the nearest of kin. You sleeping with your father's wife, which is your stepmother. God, and Lord, I hope it's not your mother. God, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. See, that's why certain forms of sex, you have to have a sick mind to even perform it. Your child, your mother, your father, anybody, it's just off. You got to have a sick mind frame for that. To even engage and be aroused, for lack of a better word, to even be with your family member like that. Okay? Go ahead, brother.
So the leaven will be inside you.
We're going to get to it. Right? Go ahead. All right. That's why I said start at 1 so we can get the understanding. Come on.
And ye are puffed up.
And you are what?
Puffed up.
What does the leaven do to the flour?
It makes it rise.
It makes it rise. So now, what is Paul saying here? Now, we can bring it on home.
Synonymous with pregnancy?
No.
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 It said puffed up.
That's a good one, right? Well, if you sleep with a woman and her stomach pumps up, more likely than not she's pregnant, right? In a bitter water test, that can mean adultery, but they can also puffed up. But that's not what this puffed up is talking about. Go ahead, brother.
Get the leaven out of you. All that
In other words,
puffed
Paul is saying,
No,
y'all proud.
Proud, okay.
Y'all proud that y'all committing this type of sin.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, yo, you know, I'm hitting up my pop's wife. Yo, I'm hitting up my stepmother. And like, yo, word, son? Yo, that's what's up. You see, you proud about it. You not ashamed. They were puffed up. Puffed up is another way of saying proud.
Proud, yeah.
You know, say, you know, somebody, yo, you conceited, you puffed up, you got he's big-headed,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, you puffed up, you're proud, meaning they was proud of this sin. They going on the low, bragging, yo, you know I'm sleeping with my stepmother, right? Yeah, man, we meet up every Thursday. Me and Mrs. Jones got a thing going on, right? Even though my last name is Jones, you know what I'm saying? She got my father's name, I got my father's name. Me and Miss Jones got a thing going on, right? And he was bragging about it. God, that's what Paul is saying. So come on.
And ye are puffed up, and have not rather mourned.
The Lord said they puffed up and have not rather mourned. Come on.
That he that have done this deed might
come on.
might be taken away from among you.
In other words, instead of y'all saying, yo, we got to find out who doing this in the congregation and get rid of them, y'all bragging and boasting about it. Yo, guess what? Oh, word, I had my stepmother last month. This what's going on. They bragging about it. He said, instead of having a council and finding out who committing that wickedness and throwing them out the congregation, he said, no, you puffed up. That's the leaven. Like the yeast puffs up the flour, the sin, they was puffed up on their sin within them. They were proud. Okay? Right, come on.
For
church.
Come.
For I verily, as absent in body,
As Paul said, I'm not there in body. Go ahead.
but present in spirit.
You know how we say, yo, I was there in spirit. Paul was like, look, I'm there in spirit. And the spirit showing me that there's sin going on in that congregation. Right? You ain't got to be physically somewhere to pick up and feel something going on. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
have judged already,
He said, I already judged this matter. Come on.
as though I were present.
As though I was there present with y'all. You know, like I'm hearing about it, but I'm like I'm there with y'all, seeing and hearing it that is going on. Come on.
Him that hath so done this deed,
Come on.
in the name of our Lord Christ, when ye are gathered together, and my spirit with the power of our Lord Christ,
Go ahead.
to deliver such as one unto Satan.
He said, deliver such a one unto Satan. Go ahead.
For the destruction.
For the what?
The destruction.
For the destruction. Go ahead.
of the flesh.
Of the flesh, man. Right? Deliver that dude to Satan. That if he don't repent, the Most High going to allow Satan to kill him, or he going to get himself together. Right? Come on.
That the spirit may be saved in the day of the Lord
Right.
Christ.
So that spirit don't jump on the whole congregation, and now you just got a adulterous fornication. Yeah, I slept with my stepmother. I said, just all manner of wickedness going on in the congregation. Okay? So that, look, if you get that wicked person out, that sin don't start to spread amongst the body. Okay? Come on.
Your glory is not good.
He said, your glorying is not good. Glorying and being puffed up and proud is synonymous with each other. So now y'all got it. Now we getting into the spiritual leaven. During the Passover and at all times, you got to remove the spiritual leaven, which is the sin, the pride, the wickedness, the evil thoughts. You understand? The jealousy, the evil, whatever the case may be, right? You got to remove all that during the Passover too. You can't just eat the unleavened bread. Yeah, no. You got to get the leaven out of your spirit, the spiritual leaven. Your house is what? Your body. And you got to remove the sin, the evil thoughts, the wickedness out of your spirit. That's the leaven you remove also. Out of your spiritual houses. Come on.
Your glory is not good.
So now, at all times, but between now and these next 5 to 6 weeks, you should be meditating, praying, fasting, getting in the spirit, reading your scriptures, going back over this lesson, reading other scriptures on the Passover, and getting your spirit right. So you come into the Passover in the right spirit. Okay? Right, go ahead.
Know ye not that a little leaven
Now the Lord said, know you not that a little leaven, go ahead.
leaveneth the whole lump?
Because a lot of times what? All you got to do is put a little leaven in the flour, and it makes the bread rise. Little yeast in that flour, it makes the bread rise. It puffs it all the way up. So he said that little bit of sin, even though it might be one or two people in the congregation, that could spread throughout the whole congregation. Okay? Brother come in here, man, yo, it ain't wrong with eating a little shrimp every fourth Sunday of the month, like the Christians do. Yeah, man, I get that little shrimp. Now, the demon gonna hop around like a bunny rabbit. Okay? That's how it happens. A little leaven if the whole lump. Next thing we know, 70% of the congregation is eating a little shrimp every fourth Sunday of the month. Okay? Now you done polluted the whole body. Come on.
Purge out, therefore, the old leaven.
It said, purge out, therefore, the old leaven. And purging out that old leaven, too, is synonymous with just being in his truth. Not just Passover season. Being in his truth, get rid of that old man. You understand? That old woman. Get rid of that old sinful fleshly person. That's also not synonymous with that purging out. Okay? Right, come on.
As ye are unleavened.
As you are unleavened. Yahweh Shah said you're supposed to become unleavened during this time of the year. You're supposed to get the spiritual leaven out of your body, your spiritual house, like you get the physical leaven out of your actual house. Come on.
For even Christ our Passover is sacrificed for us.
Come on.
Therefore, let us keep the feast.
He said, therefore, let us keep the feast. Come on.
Not with old leaven.
Not with the old leaven. Come on.
Neither with the leaven of malice and wickedness.
Yeah, and when Paul said the old leaven, that goes back with Hebrews, man. Did certain thing, you're like, damn, brother, you still like that? You know what I'm saying? You certain brothers and sisters, they just can't get over certain sins and ways about themselves. Right? What's that saying? You do the same thing and expect something different, you insane. Yeah. Okay? Yeah. You can't just keep doing the same thing over and over again.
Keep doing the same thing, it's insanity to expect a different result. Yeah.
It's insanity. Okay? And we all have to come to terms with that. Now, don't get me wrong. There's also, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Okay? It's also, if something's working, it's working. But you can always improve on anything. Okay? Because sometimes something is working, but it only stays at that level. You can enhance it where it can work more. Okay? So, but if you're doing the same things and it's not yielding any results or it's not yielding good results, you got to change. You got to look in the spirit and change up. Or you got to enhance on what you're already doing to bring about those results. Okay? You got to improve what you're doing. Okay? And we all can use that, all of us, myself included, all of us from the top down. We can all do it. We can all just improve, period. Okay? All right, come on.
But with the unleavened bread.
But with the unleavened bread, come on.
Of sincerity.
Of sincerity, come on.
And truth.
See that? Let's keep the feast in the true spirit. With the unleavened bread of sincerity and truth. Come on.
I wrote unto you in an epistle.
What verse you in?
Verse 9.
Come on.
I wrote unto you in an epistle not to company with fornicators.
It said don't keep company with fornicators. So now we know it's fornicating going on in the body. We got to deal with that. Get it out the body. In other words, what Paul is saying is let's go into the Passover in the best spirit and mind that we can go into it in. Okay? Right, go ahead.
Yet not altogether with the fornicators of this world.
Go ahead.
Or with the covenanters, or extortioners,
go ahead.
Or with idolaters.
Come on.
For them must ye needs go out of the world.
It said, yeah, man, don't keep the Passover with people that's blatantly sinful. Start again from 9, Salakia.
I wrote unto you in an epistle not to company with fornicators.
The Lord said, don't company with fornicators, any form of sexual deviancy or even spiritual fornication, idolatry. Somebody want to mix witchcraft with the truth. You know what I'm saying? You a Buddhist on Thursday, but you keeping the Sabbath. You know what I'm saying? You worshiping a fat Chinese god, but you worshiping the Sabbath. Kind? Like you an Islamic Hebrew. You know what I'm saying? Yo, man, I study both sciences, son. I'm saying though. Yo, the crescent moon with the vibration of Allah and Muhammad, and the new dark moon with Moses is all one and the same. That's what I'm saying, yo. I study both, yo. You know what I'm saying? I do Ramadan and Day of Atonement, yo. Nah, man. You can't serve two masters. You can't mix idolatry with the truth. You know what I'm saying? It don't work.
A lot of bug outs like that.
Yeah, a lot of bug outs like that, man. I'm a Hebrew, but every fourth Thursday of the month, I look at the equator to get my energy. Nah, man, come on. You know what I'm saying?
I had a bug out. I was driving the bus this week. I had a bug out. I saw my 12 dry stones in my ring when I was driving the bus. He said, "Yeah, I'm into that, but I'm also a Muslim too." You know?
Right? Yeah.
I be saying Allah, said Allah.
You got Islamic Hebrews out here, man. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of bug outs, man.
Or you got these people. There's many different paths to the same joy. Or whatever, yo, son, I deal with a little bit of all the sciences to get into my spirituality. Come on, man. The Lord said, enter ye in at the straight gate. For wide is the gate and broad is the way that into destruction. Be not ignorant in a small matter or great. It's okay to study different knowledge, but just for knowledge's sake. You don't have to necessarily go into it or delve into it. The foundation of the Most High H.O.I and the Spirit and the Word is always good enough. Khan? Right, go ahead. Because, you got Wisdom of Solomon that talks about spiritual fornication. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Verse 10, yet not altogether with the fornicators of this world.
Not altogether with the fornicators of this world. Go ahead.
Or with the covetous.
Or with what?
The covetous.
Covetous, man. Or just having a strong desire to have everything unrighteously, right? There's nothing wrong with coveting the Spirit of the Lord. There's nothing wrong with coveting doing the work. Paul tells you that in Corinthians 12. He said, covet the earnest gifts, meaning to prophesy and do the Lord's work. Covet that. But don't have a covetous spirit and unrighteousness where you just desiring to have what other people have, to where you're willing to sacrifice yourself. You're willing to sell out. You're willing to, like they do, they make deals with Satan, like in the industry and all that. Sports, whatever. They sacrifice their parents, they love. You'll do anything for a damn dollar, man. You'll get into anything that's going to bring some kind of money or wealth or happiness. No, don't compromise yourself. Okay? Yeah, Kanye West, right? Go ahead.
But now I have extortioners or with idolatry.
Extortioners, man, always trying to get something out of somebody. All right? Brother, you know what I'm saying? You gotta give me that money, brother. Come on. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
For then must ye needs go out of the world.
Come on, the Lord said you can get put to death just like those people that commit those kind of sins. Good.
But now I have written unto you not to keep company. If any man that is called a brother be a fornicator.
See that? The Lord said this is, if any man or woman, if they called a brother or a sister. Paul is talking about people that's supposed to be in the body. Right? Come on.
Be a fornicator.
If they are fornicator, if they committing different acts of sexual deviancy or spiritual fornication, if they dealing with other gods and idols and praying to different entities outside of the Most High. Go ahead.
Or covetous.
Or what?
Covetous.
Covetous, because what? The love of money is the root of all evil. You're coveting and you want this and desire that and want to chase after this dream and that. And what's going to happen? You're going to overthrow yourself. Come on.
Or an idolater.
Idolater, you dealing with different gods, different religions, different forms of worship that's not of the Most High. Keep in mind, it's okay to have knowledge. I know brothers and sisters that deal with all forms of knowledge, but their foundation is still the truth. Go ahead.
Or a rowler.
Or what?
A rowler.
Go ahead.
Or a drunkard.
Come on.
Or an extortioner.
A drunkard, you know what I'm saying? Or an extortioner. Go ahead.
With such and one now not to eat.
Meaning what? If we have these type of people amongst the congregation, they got to repent or they got to get out of the body. And they should not be keeping the Passover. The Passover is sacred. That's why Paul said, examine yourself. This is another thing, like, examine yourself within these next 5 weeks, man. Am I even really worthy? Now, that's up to you. We don't really tell no brothers, unless your sin is obvious and we know about it and it's blatant and it's off and you're not repenting. Yo, bro, you can't come to the Passover. Sis, you can't come to the Passover. You got to get yourself together. But that's up for you to decide. If you feel I've been repenting, doing the work, I'm trying, Lord, then you eat the Passover. But if you know you wicked as hell, we're going to have a Passover, then you're going to go hustle some drugs, then because you bring in, like Paul said in Corinthians 11, maybe I'll do another Passover prep video and go over some more scriptures I didn't touch on today. Some points I didn't touch on today. But Paul said in Corinthians 11, you eat damnation to yourself. Meaning if you know you evil as hell and you're going to still come and sit and eat the Lord's Passover and you engage in blatant sin, then it's like you're eating damnation to yourself. Eating that Passover is a curse to you. Okay? Right, go ahead.
For what have I to do to judge them also that are without?
Go ahead.
Do not ye judge them that are within?
Right, so Paul is saying basically the people that are in the world and doing sisters that's supposed to be in a body that's doing wickedness and evil. Okay? Go ahead.
But them that
You know, a
are,
lot of times you go outside, you can't tell Jake and Eve nothing. They're like, who, nigga, Hebrew, what? You ain't my elder. Nigga, you don't tell me what to do. But in the body, we supposed to have counsel. We supposed to have elders, senior men, different positions. And we supposed to correct everybody when they're wrong. Okay? Right, go ahead.
but them that are without,
Them that without, go ahead.
God's
The
judgment.
Most High going to judge the people that are without anyway. Go ahead.
Therefore, put away from among yourselves.
But if that wicked person is among you, go ahead.
Therefore, put away from among yourself that wicked person.
Then put that wicked person away, man. You put that wicked person away. Especially somebody sleeping with their damn stepmother and bragging about it. Okay? Right, so that's it on that?
Yeah.
Right, that's what Paul was saying. So everybody understand? You got to get that leaven within you. Out of you. If you got hatred for a brother, you got to get that out of your spirit, man. Especially unjust hatred. Okay? If you having marital issues for couples, you know, if you arguing this and that, you got to get that out of your spirit. You calling your wife out of her name, calling your husband out of his name. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never like you anyway, nigga. That's not how a woman of the Lord talk to her man. You know what I'm saying?
I love football, but I'll kill him dead.
Right. Right? You know what I'm saying? This chick get on my damn nerves. Yo, why you calling your wife a chick, brother? You know what I'm saying? Nah, you got to get that leaven out of you too, okay? Right, give me real quick, give me Ecclesiastes 9 and 9 in the Bible. You got to get that leaven out of you too, man. You know what I'm saying? Got jealousy in your heart for a brother? That nigga think he know the scriptures. I know the scriptures better than him. You got to get that out of your spirit, man. Okay? Yeah, you know, all forms of you know, you got hatred towards your children. You know what I'm saying? Hey, damn children, man. Why I had this many children? You know what I'm saying? That's evil, man. The Lord said the fruit of the womb is a blessing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you're supposed to love your children, cherish them, teach them, nurture them. Right? So, you know, you got to, any form, whatever's in you, man, you got to get rid of it. Okay? Right, go ahead, read that.
Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 9.
Go ahead.
Live joyfully with the wife whom thou lovest all the days of the life of thy vanity.
See that when it comes to couples or marriages, you're supposed to be having more good times than bad. The scriptures say you will have trouble in the flesh. You're going to have disagreements, arguments. It may get a little heated here and there. But if the bad times outweigh the good, there's a problem there. You need counseling. You need to counsel with each other, or you need to get elders involved, professional, whatever the case may be. Okay? But you got to get rid of that leaven out of your household too.
What verse was that?
The physical leaven is the leaven. Then you got physical leaven within your household as far as your family structure. If there's leaven within your family structure, you got to get rid of that. Okay? Right? All within preparation of the Passover. Read.
Which he have given thee under the sun.
So that's it on that. I was just saying, you know, how, you know, you're supposed to live joyfully with your wife. And wives supposed to live joyfully with their husbands. If it's a relationship or situation or marriage that is just vexing you all the time, then you either got to fix it or you got to ask the Most High, look, man, you know, move this on and make things better. You know? But that's part of the removing the leaven out of your house also. You know, your house is just in chaos, man. Come on, get things in order with your wife, your children, yourself, everything. Okay? So that's what this time of year is about also. Okay? Go back where you was at.
Exodus 12.
Yeah, go back to Exodus 12 and 16 now. Just a few more, we're going to wind it up. Everybody understand? So this is just some pointers on preparing your spirit for the Passover. We'll take any questions or comments. If there's questions on a comment board, I'll go back to them later and answer them on a comment, but I don't see nothing right here. You know, or any questions y'all may have, anything we didn't cover in this lesson, you know, y'all can go over. All right, read that. Y'all can ask questions later. Read.
Exodus 12, verse 16.
Go ahead.
And in the first day there shall be an holy convocation.
Right, and the first day shall be a holy convocation, so that will be April 14th at even. Thursday, April 14th at even. We will be gathering, H.O.I. will be gathering as a body in Atlanta, Georgia. or as Jonesboro is a city right outside of Atlanta. Go ahead.
And in the 7th day there shall be an holy convocation.
So in the 7th day, which will be Wednesday, April 20th at even, we will be gathering. Everybody will be most likely back in their regular cities by then, and you gather in your cities. If you cannot make it for whatever reason, make sure you do it at home. Con? Now, the Seder meal, the lamb, unleavened bread, and bitter herbs, that's only for the opening night. Normally, we do it on the opening and closing. That's just a tradition we have. But it's only mandatory on the first night. You don't have to do it on the 7th night. The 7th night, you can have regular food, just as long as it doesn't have leaven in it. You still got to eat no leaven that 7th night until Thursday, that closing. Then Thursday night, you can go back to eating leaven. Your bread, your cakes, whatever, your donuts, whatever. Con, your beer. Con, which a lot of that stuff ain't good anyway, you know what I'm saying? Right, it's fattening, and then it converts into sugar. So, you know, you should discipline your diet anyway. Con? Read on.
No manner of work shall be done in them.
The Lord said what?
No manner of work shall be done in them.
Right. That's funny. We talking about the Passover. Somebody's emailing me about the Passover. You know how you get the notifications on the phone. Right. Go ahead. I see something with Passover. Right. Go ahead.
Save that which every man must eat.
The Lord said nothing else should be eaten save that which ye shall eat. The unleavened bread, bitter herbs, and the lamb. All right. Come on.
That only may be done of you.
Right. Go ahead.
And ye shall observe the feast of unleavened bread.
What verse you in?
17.
Come on.
For in this self same day have I brought your armies out of the land of Egypt.
Come on.
Therefore shall ye observe this day in your generations by an ordinance forever.
Right, so that's it on that. So we'll stop right there. The rest of Exodus chapter 12, y'all can read on your own to get the understanding. That's your homework, but we'll stop right there. Read that 17th verse one more time, Salakia.
And ye shall observe the feast of unleavened bread. For in this selfsame day have I brought your armies out of the land of Egypt. Therefore shall ye observe this day in your generations by an ordinance forever.
There you go. That's it. So that cuts that we not supposed to keep it outside of Jerusalem also. You're supposed to keep it by an ordinance throughout your generations forever. Kind? Forever? Forever, ever? Kind? By Shema Mashiach Yahushua. Come here, Shah. All right. So short Passover lesson. Just preparing for the Passover. The New Year, March 31st. Oh, get one more. Ezekiel 45:17. My bad. Ezekiel chapter 45 and verse 17. All right. So just a little understanding, y'all. Light. We'll probably have more Passover classes coming up within the next few weeks. We're doing a pre-Passover ceremony actually in New Orleans, Monday the 14th, because, like you said, they thought March 1st was the New Year. Right. So they set up the they rented out a venue and everything, and they want H.O.I to do the class. There's a congregation of people in New Orleans. So we said we'll do it, but we told them try to come to the Passover in Atlanta also, because that's the official date. But we're going to do a pre-Passover class because some people got confused that March 1st was the New Year, so they got the Passover on the 14th. So we're going down to New Orleans next week to do that. Me and some of the brothers from H.O.I in the different states. All right, where we at?
Ezekiel 45.
Ezekiel 45:17. So we coming into a new year also. So as the new year come in and the Passover come in, you want to renew your spirit. You want to refresh your spirit. All right, you want to rejuvenate. You want to, all that stuff. You know, you want to reinvigorate. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Restart. I don't know. You want to jumpstart your spirit again, Khan. You want to get better. As time goes on, you want to get better. Khan, read that, brother.
Ezekiel 45 verse 17.
Come on.
And this shall be the prince part to give burnt offerings.
The prince represents like a head of a tribe that was supposed to give the offering to the priest to burn for Israel. Come on.
And meat offerings, and drink offerings, and the feast, and in the new moons, and in the Sabbaths, and all solemnities of the house of Israel.
Come on.
He shall prepare the sin offering, and the meat offering, and the burnt offering, and the peace offering, to make reconciliation for the house of Israel.
Right, so he was supposed to make that reconciliation and burn that offering on each feast day for the house of Israel. Just like we did on the Day of Atonement, we're supposed to do it throughout our other feasts. Come on.
Thus saith the Lord, in the first month, in the first day of the month.
So the first month, the first day of the month will be what? Our new year, Khan. Which this year is what date? But don't yell out by a show of hands. Yakeem.
March 31st.
Thursday, March 31st at even. Khan. So the first day of the month, first day of the month, come on.
Thou shalt take a young bullock without blemish and cleanse the sanctuary.
Cleanse what?
The sanctuary.
So we were supposed to take the sanctuary, the temple, and we were supposed to take and do a cleansing of the temple at the beginning of the year, at the head of the year. Because you know all the blood and stuff and the sacrifices was done in the temple. So we did a cleansing of the temple also. Come on.
And the priest shall take of the blood of the sin offering and put it upon the post of the house, and upon the four corners of the settle of the altar, and upon the post of the gate of the inner court.
Go ahead.
And so thou shalt do the 7th day of the month.
Go ahead.
For everyone that erreth, and for him that is simple.
Right, so that once that first week of the year came in, you burned a little extra offering for those that was a little simple and error. Those that little, like needed that extra prayer. You know what I'm saying? For Israel that was going to still go off, or some that go off more than others, kind. So it was like a cleansing for the temple and the nation at the top of the year. Kind. So that's what we do. We cleanse ourselves at the top of the year. Kind. And try to get better. You know what I'm saying? It's, just think about, where was I last year at this time? Am I better? Did I improve in my spirit? Did I improve in, certain things might be going on in your life that you didn't know, you didn't think. You're like, well, how do I deal with this? Wow. But you should be trying to improve. Remove all the wickedness and evil and negativity from around you and get into that spirit of the Most High Mashiach Yahweh Shai. Okay? Right, come on.
For him that is simple, so shall ye reconcile the house. In the first month, in the 14th day of the month.
The Lord says, so shall you reconcile the house, the temple, and burn that offering for everyone that erreth and is simple. Kind? So at the top of the year, you gave a special offering and praise to the Most High for the beginning of that year, for the temple and the nation. Kind? So as we enter into this new year, we'll give more insight on when we do the actual service on the 31st. We'll go more into the New Year scriptures and refreshing and replenishing in your spirit for the new year. So, it's time, it's transition of time. It's, our true new year, our Passover. So get into the spirit. April 14th, 2022 at even. March 31st, the new year, Thursday, March 31st at even. Remember these dates, write them down. I have calendars. If anybody need a calendar, let me know. I can give it to you. I can email it to you, whatever the case may be. I can send you a physical copy in the mail, if you need a calendar. Khan? I think I got a few here. I'll see. But that's about it. Prepare for the Passover. Remember, you got to eat the lamb, the unleavened bread, and the bitter herbs. That's the main meal. You can have your wine or your kosher grape juice as an alternative, as your drink. We usually have water and a few other things for the children at the Passover. But the menu is strictly with just the lamb, bitter herbs, and the unleavened bread. Remember, the bitter herbs is the horseradish root. The unleavened bread is the bread without yeast. Go online. They have plenty of videos about how to make unleavened bread. They got plenty of Israelite videos. We have sisters in our congregation that have done videos, brothers, sisters in Israel in general, for you to learn how to make unleavened bread. The so-called white Jews call it matzah. All right. Coming from matzah in the Hebrew, which means unleavened, unleavened bread. A lot of Israel try to make their own, try to stay away from Amalek's crackers. But if all else fails, go to Whole Foods and get some organic matzah. If you don't know how to make it, go to Whole Foods and get some, Try to get the best of the worst. Remember, remove the leaven from within your spirit, the jealousy, the anger, the evil, the contempt, the hatred, the bitterness, the sin, all right, the evil thoughts. Remove bitterness from your household, from within you and a brother. If you and a sister, your relationship, whatever. Remove the bitterness from your home. The actual bitterness. Remove the leaven, Salakia, from your home. The yeast, the actual yeast. Look at the food products and what's in your home. Make sure your home is cleaned down, I don't know, it might be a piece of bread in the corner, you know what I'm saying? Got some leaven in it. Nah. But try to get all the leaven out of your homes before the 14th. Don't wait till the 14th. Start preparing from now. Throughout the 7 days, you cannot eat any leaven for the whole 7 days. No, you cannot have a piece of bread on the second day. You got to wait the whole 7 days. No beer, nothing with yeast in it. Look at your ingredients. If you are going to eat out, try to eat somewhere where they serve flat breads and just regular cooked food. All right, do a lot of your own cooking. Fruits, vegetables, nuts, things of that nature. Water, natural juices. It's a good time to eat healthy for them 7 days. Eat healthy in general. All right, so that's that. Any other questions? We covered some things in here. Just email us or message us and we'll answer them to guide you on how to do the Passover to the best of your ability. Men, you got to have your garments on, your loins girded, your staff in your hand, and your shoes on your feet. Women, you got to have your dresses and your head covered, all right, with your fringes, all right, on a Passover and at all times. Brothers, make sure you got your staffs, all right, get your staff. You got to have your staff in your hand. That represents the warfare aspect when we came out of Egypt. So, I don't know. I can't think of nothing else right now. Anything else come up? We got a whole 5 weeks, 6 weeks, Israel. Email us, ask us the questions. I don't know, man. Don't ask us, did your H.O.I eat some Worcester sauce on his lamb? The answer is no. All right? And when you roast the lamb, you can't season it. All right? Only thing you can put on it is so-called kosher salt. I say so-called because Amalek claim they kosher the salt. You can't put no seasoning. Only kosher salt, and you got to roast it well done. All right? Or you can't boil it in a pot with no water, roast it with fire. But, the new brothers and sisters or whoever, hopefully you brothers and sisters will be at the Passover. Hopefully you brothers and sisters online will be at the Passover. But if you're not able to make it, hit us up with your questions. House of Israel NYC at gmail.com. Inbox me here on Facebook or Instagram, and I'll answer all your questions about keeping the Passover. Anything we didn't cover tonight, Salakia, H.O.I Los Angeles, y'all know y'all can contact us. Y'all can contact me. We here. Well, I'll be gone next week, but still contact me. And, we'll answer your questions about anything you have concerning Passover. For those that it's your first year, there's no such thing as a dumb question. If you don't know, ask. All right? You know what I'm saying? But, ask questions that make sense. But, there's no such thing as a foolish question. But ask questions that make sense. Nah, I'm just kidding. But if you don't know, you don't know. Ask. That's how you're going to find out. If you don't know, you have to ask. So that's it. Any questions or comments? Everybody understand? All right. Any questions or comments online? I don't see anything. All right, I guess I'll go back and look at the live and see if there's any questions that might have got over our head. Anything on the YouTube live?
No questions. I looked already.
Okay. All right. So basically everybody understand, huh? Still making a sandal, That man trying to show them toes for Passover. A leather strap in the back, still making a sandal. Nah.
I was talking about antiquity.
No, that's all right. Go ahead, brother.
Something you said earlier, I just want to throw out there. When you said we should eat healthy during Passover, that means no mayonnaise also. We should never eat mayonnaise. Because that's very unhealthy. But anyway, I just thought that.
There's a lot of foods that they say you shouldn't eat because of they're just not healthy. But
the sugar, all the other additives.
One thing is, it's timing also. Like it's, if you have it once in a while, it may not, it may not do anything to you. But if you want to go all out like a G, certain things, if you're never going to have it, but once in a while, like, soda's not really good for you. You know what I'm saying? But every once in a while, I'll have a ginger ale. Is it something I drink every day, every week? No. You know what I'm saying? But if you have it once in a while, it shouldn't kill you. It shouldn't do you no damage. But, when we say eat healthy during the Passover, a lot of times it's because you're forced to. Because a lot of stuff you can't eat that has leaven in it. But eat healthy at all times. Okay? A Passover should be a training ground. If you can do it for them 7 days, keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? Not that you got to not have leaven for past them 7 days, but keep eating healthy after them 7 days. The 7 days is a proving ground. Okay? All right, so that's it on that. We're going to pray out when Rob Judah comes back. We're going to pray out, dismiss. We got a little refreshments here. Brothers and sisters, eat and drink. And then we're going to head out to Hollywood to the camp. Con? All right.
You could put ginger in your water and get the same effect, much more healthy.
Con. Ginger, lemon.
Right. Well,
you know what I'm
lemon
saying?
water is perfect.
Yeah,
But
lemon water is perfect.
Put
Yeah.
Ginger in.
Put
and
ginger.
Get the same effect like some kind of ginger soda.
You can boil ginger in water
for tea. Like
and make a ginger
tea.
drink. Yeah,
Right,
make
absolutely.
a ginger tea. And you can have it hot or cold. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Con?
And me as a man, I make my own unleavened bread. It's
Kind.
very easy to do.
Kind
Just
easy, yeah,
flour
it's easy.
and water.
Kind.
And you can make your own.
Yeah, you just
unleavened
roll
bread.
it out.
It's very easy.
Yeah, very easy. Yeah.
But the right kind of flour, not white flour. I make buckwheat flour or another type of flour, but it's easy to do.
Yeah, they got and it's best to get the unbleached flour.
That's what I'm
All
saying.
right, yeah, get
The
that
white-
unbleached. Don't get that bleached flour.
Right, 'cause that's
That white flour. Yeah, get the unbleached, the raw, natural,
Right.
flour. Yeah, you do all them things, man, and you be on your way. You eat healthier, you're gonna have healthier results. Get rid of a lot of these diseases, man, and a lot of this stuff. My doctor told me, man. My doctor's from Haiti. He's a Levite. He said, man, 80% of disease in America is due to poor diet.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he said, man, that's why they can talk about third world countries, islands, all they want, but he said we're 10 times healthier over there because we picking stuff off the tree and eating it. You know what I'm saying? It's not processed. We getting our chicken right off of a farm. If we're gonna eat meat, we stabbing our fish right out of the water. We ain't getting it from some fish farm where it's raised, So, yeah, them fish farms is off, man. I researched them. That stuff is off, man. Don't never get no fish that says farm raised. Get it wild caught. And go even, I still don't trust it in them packages when it say wild caught. Because you packaged it. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's better to just get it fresh, man. It's damn near still wobbling around. You know what I'm saying? And you just get it, take it home, clean it, clean it down and fillet it, whatever. Bake it, fry it, whatever you're going to do with it. Okay? But yeah, man, that them farm raised fish, that's the stuff they do to that stuff is disgusting, man. I researched that thing, man. All kinds of rat and oh my God, man. It's ridiculous.
I'll say this, the fish, because there's so much mercury in the water,
Okay.
the fish should come from north of the Arctic Circle, like wild Alaskan salmon or something like that.
Okay.
So because north of the Arctic Circle is less mercury in the water.
Okay.
And lastly, if you're gonna eat
Fix your
nuts,
shirt. Fix your shirt.
if you're gonna eat nuts, they should be raw nuts.
Right.
Because when you dry roast them, it changes the good fats to bad fats.
Con. We need to, Yahweh are going to do a health class for us.
Yeah.
Con. Right, so any more questions or comments? Any questions on the board? Do you believe in physically uncircumcised brother can, what that say?
Do you believe physically uncircumcised brothers can partake? Most likely the Passover.
Partake. That good old one. If you're uncircumcised, but you're keeping the rest of the laws, we will allow you to attend the Passover. right? Because the scriptures say, we don't have to get into it now. We can do a separate lesson on circumcision and uncircumcision. There's spiritual circumcision also, meaning if you're physically uncircumcised, but yet you're keeping all the laws of the Most High in sincerity and truth, that's counted for spiritual circumcision. But, you know, we don't want you to be 5, 6, 7, 10 years in the truth and you're still physically uncircumcised. You should, at some point, make an appointment to get it done. Okay? So that you can be in the, like if you, all right, we allow you to do the Passover this year, but you say, yo, this summer I'm getting circumcised. So by next Passover, I'm circumcised. I ain't got to worry. You know, for conscience sake, I'm circumcised. Okay? Because according to the law, no uncircumcised male is supposed to keep the Passover. But when Christ came in through the mercy and grace, if you're physically uncircumcised, yet you're keeping all the laws, your physical uncircumcision is counted as circumcision through you keeping the rest of the laws. Okay? In other words, the Most High have mercy because you're trying to serve him and do everything else right. But it shouldn't be 5 years from now. Damn, Mark, you ain't circumcised yet. We encourage brothers to still get the physical circumcision done. Okay? Or, you know, we have brothers over the years that said, you know, I don't feel right. I'm going to just do the Passover at home. I'll do it next year once I get circumcised. You know, just, you know, some brothers are just zealous for the law. Okay? But we will allow it. But after, you should be seeking to get it done. By next year, you got a whole year. By next year, you know what I'm saying? You shouldn't be, oh, I'm still not circumcised. You should be seeking to get it done. Con? To the point where we really want all our brothers in the Passover to be circumcised. Con? Everybody should be seeking to do it. But we in captivity. Some people are waking up to the truth at different times than others. You didn't get a chance to get it done. The mercy will come in, but make sure you get it done for next year. Con? Common sense. If thou art a holier than thou congregation and say Elder Zabach is going off, no uncircumcised brothers coming in our Passover, more power to y'all. Shalom. Nah. Because I know that'll come in there. You know what I'm saying? What, Elder? You know what I'm saying? But that's how we do it at H.O.I, Con. But we encourage brothers, period. A brother come in 6 months ago, and in 2 months, he like, oh, I'm supposed to be circumcised. Get it done in 2 months, brother. This way, when the Passover come up, you'll be fine. Okay? All right, so seek to get it done. If you haven't got it done, seek to get it done. You got a whole year. You got 5 weeks, but I don't know if you're healed in that time. But you got a whole year after this Passover. Get it done. Make an appointment, get it done. Okay? All right, so wake up. More. We're going to get into the prayer. All right. The babies get restless. They try to hang in there, but they get restless. All right. We're going to rise and do the closing prayer. And, you know, everybody can have a snack. And hold on 1 second. I'll tell everybody when to rise. Not yet. Get Cara. And we'll close it out. Put your head wrap back on and get Roz. It's under the cover. All right, so everybody should understand how to do the Passover this year and every year. Okay? All right. I don't see no questions on the comment board. Some of y'all saying stuff that has nothing to do with what we talking about. I don't know what the hell Martin Luther King has to do with the Passover. You know, some of y'all are bugged out, man. I don't know. Maybe Salakia, if I'm judging your comment wrong, Gak. Maybe I'm seeing your comment wrong. My bad. All right. Okay, imagine Wapanya Yerushalayim, stand and face Jerusalem on the east, which is this way for closing Shabbat prayer. All right. Oh. Hallelujah.
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 Blessing of Israel throughout the four corners of the earth. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Hashem.
Hashem.
Hamashiach.
Hamashiach.
Yahushai.
Yahushai.
Barak Noah.
Barak Noah.
Barak Shalom.
Barak Shalom.
Wahabi Asapayim.
Wahabi Asapayim.
Shema.
Shema.
Yeshua. Yahweh. Say it after me. All right. Shema. Yeshua. Yahweh. Elohayanawa. Yahweh. Shema. Yeshua. Yahweh. Elohayanawa. Yahweh. Shema. Yeshua. Yahweh. Elohayanawa. Yahweh. Shema. Yeshua. Yahweh. Elohayanawa. Hallelujah.
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 Blessed O Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem Mashiach Yahushai. Please watch over Israel, the schools, camps, congregations, all those that are sincere in Yahushai, doing the work throughout the four corners of the earth. Lord, watch over all of our brothers and sisters throughout the four corners of the earth. Bless us, deliver us, Ba'ashem Mashiach Yahushai, throughout our month. Hallelujah.
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 Deuteronomy 6 verse 4, the Shemaiah's prayer. Hear, O Israel, Yahweh, our power, Yahweh is one. Deuteronomy 6 verse 4, Shemaiah's prayer. Hallelujah.
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 All right. Let me get the olive oil so I can. Hold tight, y'all. We're going to do the anointing.
You want to catch that?
Come.
Sisters, come up. Women, come up. You get anointed. Come get your blessing. All right. Right. Make a call. Uh-oh. Oh, you messing up Rob's stuff. He can get you.
Put it on the table, that's fine.
Hallelujah. All right, sisters, this is anointing prayer. Basically, we're going to say the anointing prayer from Numbers, the 6th chapter, and the 22nd to 27th verse. As we praying over y'all, ask the Most High to deliver y'all, things y'all going through, family issues, anything, make you a better wife, daughter, all around woman of the Most High, mother, whatever the case may be. God, this is the time you meditate, especially on anything you might be going through, struggling with, that you need a little help with. Me and Jamin is going to say the prayer. When we finish, we say our name 3 times. Y'all repeat it, and you receive your blessing. Okay? Hallelujah. This is the anointing prayer for the book of Numbers, chapter 6, verse 22 to 27. Hallelujah. Repeat after me, Jamin. Yabarek Yahweh. Waishamarka. Ya'ah Yahweh. Pan Yahweh. Al Yakar. Wayachanka. Yasha'ah Yahweh. Pan Yahweh. Al Yakar. Wayashamnaka. Shalom. Yahweh. Ba'ashem. Hamashiach. Yahushai. Babukushal. Shemai. Nawa. Aita. Shalak. Maigala. Walahayim. La, Shema'el, Barak, Rapar, Izar, Magun, Kazak, Hatazayal, Kwawa, Zara, Zakara, Zamora, Zanai, Alasia,
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 Blanca,
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 Blanca, Cole,
Cole,
Akim,
Akim,
Cole,
Cole,
Akwafium,
Akwafium,
Cole,
Cole,
Bunyum,
Bunyam,
Yasha'ala,
Yashala,
Bahashim,
Bahashim,
Hamashiach,
Hamashiach,
Yahawashai,
Yahushua,
the water,
the water,
the yard,
Dawiyam,
Awalam,
Awalam.
Amen.
Amen.
Hallelujah,
Hallelujah.
hallelujah,
Hallelujah.
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 Sisters, be seated. Brothers, come up, get anointed. God. Hallelujah. All the brothers got oil. So same thing, Akim, y'all know the routine. Anointing prayer, number 622 to 27. This is the general prayer that the Most High gave to the children of Israel for them to be anointed, you know, right at this time, whatever you're going through, struggling with, you know, personal issues, financial, family, whatever. Now is the time to ask the Most High for deliverance, right, through the things that you're going through. Okay? All right, make you a better brother, father, you know, just overall man for the Most High, by Hashem Mashiach Yahushua, son, whatever the case may be. God, we say the prayer, of course. Rob Judah on down. Say your name 3 times. We repeat it. You receive your blessing. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Repeat after me. German. Yabaraki Yahweh.
Yabaraki Yahweh.
Waishamanka.
Shamanka.
Ya'a Yahweh.
Ya'a Yahweh.
Panyawa.
Panyawa.
Ayaka.
Ayaka.
Wayachanka.
Wayahanka.
Yasha'a Yahweh.
Yasha'a Yahweh.
Panyawa.
Panyawa.
Ayaka.
Ayaka.
Wayashamnaka.
Wayashamnika.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Bahashim.
Bahashim.
Hamashiach.
Hamashiach.
Yahushai.
Yahushua.
Bokushah.
Bobukashah.
Shemai.
Shemai.
Nawa.
Nawa.
Aita.
Aita.
Shalak.
Shalak.
Maikala.
Micaiah.
Walahim.
Walahim.
La.
La.
Shema'ayo.
Yashemaiah.
Barak.
Barak.
Rapah.
Rapah.
Izar.
Isaiah.
Magun.
Magan.
Kazak.
Kazak.
Hatazayah.
Atazayah.
Kwawa.
Kawa.
Rob Judah.
Rob Judah.
Rob Judah.
Rob Judah.
Rob Judah.
Rob Judah.
Yahweh.
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 Hiram.
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 Yakin.
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 Jamin.
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 Jamin. Zabach.
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 Ko.
Ko.
Akim.
Akim.
Ko.
Ko.
Akwafium.
Akwafium.
Ko.
Ko.
Bunyum.
Bunyam.
Yasha'ala.
Yasha'ala.
Bahashim.
Bahashim.
Hamashiach.
Mashiach.
Yahushai.
Yahushua.
The water.
The water.
Dumyad.
Abuyam.
Awalam.
Abulam.
Amen. Hallelujah. Good. Everybody, Panya Yerushalayim again. Pray for the food and the drink. Hallelujah. Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahushai.
Barakatah Yahushai.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Bahashim.
Bahashim.
Hamashiach.
Mashiach.
Yahushai.
Yahushai.
The water.
The water. Ma.
Shabbat.
Shabbat.
Wa.
Wa.
Rum.
Rum.
Yawam.
Yawam.
Wa.
Wa.
Kad.
Kad.
Shabbat.
Shabbat.
Babukushah.
Babukushah.
Barak.
Barak.
Ma'akol.
Ma'akol.
Wa.
Wa.
Shatta.
Shatta.
Babukushah.
Babukushah.
Bahashim.
Bahashim.
Hamashiach.
Hamashiach.
Yahushai.
Yahushai.
The water.
The water.
Yad.
Awalam.
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 Amen.
Amen.
Blessed the Most High Yahweh B'Hashem Mashiach Yahushua. Please bless the food and the drink we're about to receive, Most High. Let it nourish our bodies as we continue to live on this earth to serve you. And we thank you for all things: food, raiment, clothing, shelter, everything, Most High. Food, blessings, everything, Most High. Our bodies and limbs working, the bare necessities, the things we take for granted sometimes. We thank you for all things, Lord. Major, minor, whatever they are in our lives, we thank you for them. By Hashem Mashiach Yahushai, the water, the yad, Awalam. Amen.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
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 Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Kwame Shalom.
Come on.
Good. All right, brothers, turn to the sisters. Salute the sisters. Sisters stand. Akim Yasha'Allah. Salute our sisters. Amajim. Barak. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Ba'ashem.
Ba'ashem.
Hamashiach.
Hamashiach.
Yahushai.
Yahushai.
Shematan.
Shematan.
Sisters, right hand over. Repeat. Yahweh. Ba'ashem. Hamashiach. Yahushai. Shematan. Most High, in the name of Yahushai, Most High, in the name of Christ, bless you. Watch over you. Shalom. Sisters, be seated. Akim, brothers of Israel, salute each other. Amajim, stand at attention. Barak, smite your chest. Yahweh,
Yahweh.
Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem.
Hamashiach,
Hamashiach.
Yahushai,
Yahushai.
Barakatam,
Barakatam.
Kwame Shalom.
Kwame Shalom.
Kwame Shalom.
Kwame Shalom.
Kwame Shalom.
Kwame Shalom.
Hallelujah.
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 Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahushai.
Barakatah Yahushai.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahushai.
Barakatah Yahushai.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahushai.
Barakatah Yahushai.
Ba'ashem.
Ba'ashem.
Hamashiach.
Hamashiach.
Yahushai.
Yahushai.
Kwame Shalom.
Kwame Shalom.
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 Come. All right, Israel, Shabbat Shalom. Kwame Shalom. That concludes the closing of the Shabbat, basic Sabbath preparation, New Year preparation. Get your spirits right for the upcoming Passover. We hope we covered some questions